You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you on this Friday. I don't know if it's going to be a football Friday or even a football Friday, but it is the end of the week and we made it. How the heck are you, Miller and Moulton? MillerandMoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Top of the morning to you, Mark. How you holding up here on this Friday?
I'm doing great. Feel good. It was an interesting night last night, interesting day yesterday, because obviously I watched the Open. I was so proud of my wife. The show ended. I went downstairs and the Open was on the TV. I'm look at her go.
Wow.
The only problem is she's starting to watch sports, which isn't a bad thing. But I happened to be on my phone just looking at something. And, Rory made a birdie putt. You got to stop and watch that. They're going to show a replay. Honey, it's just, I don't care. It went in. Yeah, it was a backdoor putt and it was nice, but it's a putt. And when I get yelled at to look at replays by my wife, because I'm looking down at my phone, I'm like, really? Is this where we're at now? Well, and I don't know if that's a bad thing or not.
No, see, she thinks she's doing you a solid. She knows Rory's a big deal. Okay. And that, you're into watching the big deals. Okay. And so she's just trying to help you out, going, hey, you may have missed this.
Big deals like Lucas Herbert, Matt Wallace, Sean Norris, Jackson Suber, Pearson Cody, and Bud Cauley. Oh, didn't remember Sungjae Im and Daniel Brown. Yep, that's your leaderboard currently at the Open Championship.
It's early. Come on now.
I know, but that's what we said it. This tournament early on gives us some strange names.
Yep. And then Saturday, moving day. And then that's where, we start to separate. That's, the frauds. They've made the cut. They're in good position to get a nice check, but they're not going to be there on Sunday. We'll get to that. We'll get to that tomorrow sometime. But I just love the fact that when we're done with the show, there will still be like 30 golfers who haven't teed off yet today.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they signed off their coverage yesterday. They weren't done playing. They signed off their coverage on USA at like 3:30 yesterday. That's 14 hours of golf, and they weren't done.
Right. I have to admit, it's unusual these days for them to sign off with golfers still on the course. I know that was the rule of thumb, when I was with Fox. And now that was the end of last decade, though. That was 2016 through 19 for me. But, we didn't sign off first and second round. We did not sign off. If there was a golf shot on the course, we did not sign off. Now, I think we were on FS1 by then. It's 8 o'clock or thereabouts at night for the U.S. Open. And so, we switched over to, junior over there. But that was pretty much the staple.
Well, they may have gone to Peacock, David. They very well may have gone to Peacock. I didn't stick with it. All of a sudden, some show was on. I'm like, what the hell is this? Just like last night, one of the networks decided not to show a couple networks, I think, didn't show the president. And then they butt in. I'm watching Press Your Luck, and they bounce in with the president. No, I'm watching Press Your. I know where I can find the If I wanted to watch him, he's on another channel. I've got big bucks, no whammies. Don't be breaking into that crap on me.
I mean, could somebody at least be paying attention? Could we get to the top of the hour? Can you give us the update at like 57 after the hour? You got 3 minutes. Okay, maybe 5 if we want to do away with the intros. I don't care what her name is. Okay, and where she's a housewife. Let's just go.
Man, I've got Press Your Luck or pass. Mets Phillies is over, man. Let's go. But, my wife for years has said to me, so what are we watching tonight? She knows. For the most part, I'm going to watch a sporting event every damn night. And I said, nothing, honey. There's not a damn thing on I need to watch. There's one baseball game, and I really don't care. And I turned that on in the 7th inning.
Well, that started early.
Right.
because of the smog or smoke or
No, the
whatever
smoke
we're
from the
calling it.
Canada wildfires.
Yeah.
Michigan's a mess. The whole state of Michigan. I've been seeing pictures from my buddies. Whether they're in and around Detroit, whether they're up near Traverse City, it looks apocalyptic. It's so bad.
They put a picture on the screen of Toledo, Ohio, and I basically turned to my wife and said, well, I guess we got to take their word on it. It's Toledo. That could be anywhere in 8 states, apparently.
Yeah, Sandusky, which isn't too far from Toledo, where Cedar Point is, the great roller coaster park in our country, and it sits on Lake Erie. And some of the rides, when you're up, you can see, way out into Lake Erie. And they showed a picture from Cedar Point, and you can't see, but I mean, for those of you that are scared of heights on roller coasters, this is the time. Go do it now.
Okay. Although, how freaky would it be? When the roller coaster or the Ferris wheel's letting you off and they're doing it one, car at a time? Well, what if they start letting people off and you're just approaching the top? Okay.
Stop with that. I can't even get on one of these anymore with that thought.
But you can't see. Okay. I don't know if that would be more terrifying or if that would be, well, this is cool. I can see a person sitting next to me and our feet. It kind of makes me think I'm on my own private ride. Am I really off the ground if this is all I can see?
Poor Detroit, they've worked so hard in so many ways to try to dispel the vast stereotypes about that city and its crime. And it really is a much better place than it was decades ago. It's not close. And I believe they have the worst air quality in the world right now.
Yeah. Through no fault of their own.
Right. And, all of the concerts that are being postponed around the Midwest and Northeast, it's, that's the time of year, whatever your outdoor venue is, Blossom, Pine Knob, wherever you go for your shows, they're canceling the shows. That sucks. I mean, sometimes you go to all the shows, but sometimes there's a show and you damn near build your whole summer around that concert and it's getting postponed or canceled. That stinks.
Listen, it's one thing if I can't see them on stage. It's another thing when I can't see them on the big screen on stage.
Right.
So for those of you that are listening in an area that's affected, sorry.
Blame Canada.
Yeah.
Been screwing up since, what's his face there, missed the open net.
I was going to say they're still honked.
It's all McKinnon's fault. That's what I'd say. Blame it on Nathan McKinnon.
Yep. They're still honked off from February. Don't know how long they're going to hold this grudge. Not our fault. Not our fault. McKinnon missed an open net, and McCarr handled the 2-on-1 about as poorly as you can, considering he was closer to the puck than the American forward, who ended up getting the puck and setting up the game-winning goal.
Hockey guys all bent. I don't watch the ESPYs, but I've now read a few things. And by the way, some of the monologue from that guy was terrific. I mean, the Knicks, the last time they won a championship in '73, there was no 3-point line. I think he had another sports joke in there, and Bill Belichick was the same age as his current girlfriend. I mean, that's they're
wow. That's good material.
Yeah. I mean, no, I listened through the monologue. I've caught a couple parts. It was pretty good. But the hockey guys bent because the play of the year was the tip by Anunoby. I mean, of course it was. It was the Knicks. It was the NBA. This is ESPN. What you think you're going to get a golden goal that was on another network? Are you out of your mind?
Do you really think ESPN's going to count on the Knicks winning another title in the next quarter century? Are you serious? No, they're max. This is about the last thing they can max out that's Knicks related.
Hate to break it to you, but it's the NBA and the Knicks. I know what you would say in a gold medal. I don't know what to tell you. It wasn't 1980.
Did you see the ratings? Okay, for the NBA and the Knicks? Yeah. Just, hey, can we run the Knicks again? Well, just the ESPYs. Okay, line them up, fly them out, get them tuxes, let's go.
And the other one, and someone pointed out, Mike Tyson not realizing Shohei Ohtani was a man.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. I will say it's about equal with the MLB commissioner, Rob Manfred, not knowing how to pronounce the first overall pick in your draft.
Right.
I mean, one's funny. One's, are you kidding me, ridiculous.
Yes. Yes, it is. But yeah, and the Shane Gillis joke was outstanding. That's funny. Funny is funny.
Yes.
That's funny. Don't care where you're coming from. A funny joke is a funny joke. At least it should be. And if it's not, you need to work on that the second half of this year.
Well, that's a you problem.
Yep.
That's a you problem. You getting bent out of shape about jokes. That's a you thing. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stand tall on that. I'm gonna complain about people begging for money outside of Publix, and I'm gonna tell you funny's funny. Whether it's my kid or not. Good gracious.
Are you gonna need security?
I'm not going.
Okay.
I might need it for my. I've already told the wife is already, she's not happy that I posted it. She's not mad at me, but she's not happy. She said, you didn't need to post that. I said, I kind of did. I feel better.
Right. You're looking at her going, oh, no, I needed to post it. You didn't need me to post it, but I needed to post it.
So I am curious the reaction she gets when she takes the daughter this weekend. Yep. If you are at a Publix and there's a bunch of cute girls, 11, 12 years old, great kids, if they're begging for your change, tell them I said no. I have no problem with that. I was going to give you money, but one of the dads told me on radio that I shouldn't.
Right. Which one of you kids is the Miller kid? Oh, hi. Okay. Your dad said no, go home. That'd be great. I'd pay a lot of money if somebody did that. A lot of money.
Fantastic. It really would.
I'd give you the money, not Mark's daughter. I'd give you the money if you did it.
The Open Championship second round is off to the races. They started very early again once this morning. We've got a pretty good show lined up, but you're going to have to find us in that 9 o'clock hour in a few spots on YouTube or Twitch or Tampa or Jacksonville, because Tommy Smyth's at 9 a.m. this morning to talk about the World Cup final. We'll talk a little Rays in the 8 o'clock hour. So baseball back in full today.
Yep.
Yesterday, the Phillies got bounced and the Mets say they're sellers. They let it be known. Miller and Moulton, starting 25 minutes away.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real. The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe. And
This is Miller and Moulton.
Ha, that's awesome. Figured something out this morning. Technology being my friend. Hmm. Yeah, I did a segment on it earlier in the week, Sonny. I don't have a problem with the kids as much as I do with them leading the equipment manager off. That's the part I've got the beef with. Kids aren't governors, which is a bit of a joke, but he's not the first one to do it. That's the other thing. They're not really pointing that out in many of the articles. Now, most of the other family names have been given some sort of title by the team, but what difference does that make? And in fact, it started with the Red Wings, Sonny. The Ilitch family was the first to do it, and they've done it twice. But their kids were all alternate governors in some way, shape, or form. I don't know what to tell you, Happy. At the Publix I go to, it is, I mean, I did a segment on this before I found out my kid was doing it. I've literally talked about it on the air. It is a common thing for teams, dance teams, to be sitting up. Maybe they don't want to go to Bonita because they don't think you guys got enough money down there. I don't know what to tell you, but the ones in Estero, the one out Corkscrew Road, apparently, I mean, it's nonstop.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. So the regular seasons are getting longer and starting earlier. And NFL wants to do the same thing. They're not quite there yet. Give them about 2 more seasons, and they'll be there. But first, the NHL coming out in the middle of the week and saying, yeah, we're going from 82 to 84. And this is at least a 4-year trial because the collective bargaining agreement's a 4-year deal, and it starts this coming season. So for 4 years, they're going to play 84 games instead of 82. They've been playing 82 since the mid-90s. Coming out of the lockout, okay, in the mid-2000s also. They altered the schedule a little bit. More division games, less home and homes with the West Coast teams. Okay. I think we could all vote for that. Don't know if we'd vote for 84 over 82 because now the season is starting September 29th. September 29th, the season starts. Well, yesterday, Major League Baseball let you know when their season is going to start next year. And it's even
like the earliest they've ever put this out, right? I mean, they've never put out the following years, whether opening day and games. This is as early as they've ever done it.
Yes, and it's the earliest that we've ever started a season with the exception of when they've started a couple seasons over in Japan.
Right.
You know, the Mets and Cubs did it one time. The Cubs did it another. The Dodgers did it a couple times. Seattle did it with Ichiro. So we've started a season around March 22nd before, but next year, the opening game, it'll be a standalone, just like this year, the Giants and Yankees played a standalone game in San Francisco, and then just about everybody else played the next day. Well, next year, if there's a next year, the season starts, I think it's March 24th. They haven't announced the game yet. And then
they're waiting to see it. Well, I don't know what network they're on, who's playing, if they have a season. I mean, I do find it fascinating that they put these issues out in every article. I'm not saying MLB's press release, but every article has an if there's a season on there.
Right. So they've started earlier talking to one another. It does not appear as if they've made any progress whatsoever. They're still in the owners trying to get the players to accept the salary cap, and the players are like, what part of we'd never play again are you not fully understanding? We're literally, if the choice was to accept the salary cap or never play again, we would never play again. When are you guys going to get that through your heads? But anyway, the single game is March 24th. And then I believe everybody else, Mark, is going to play March 25th next year. And think about how early that is. I mean, the whole last week of March, I mean, that was a total spring training week.
Yep.
Not that long ago.
Yep.
So the season starting, hockey starting earlier than ever before, and as many games as they've ever played before. And now baseball, same number of games, starting a week to 10 days earlier than what it used to be not that long ago, and even earlier than last year. Didn't Netflix have the Giants and Yankees opening night?
Oh, yeah, it was atrocious. I watched the open, and it was, I mean, they had like the school bus and the dance music, and it just didn't make any sense whatsoever.
So I I believe that Netflix has this for the next few years. Could be wrong, but they had it last year. Pretty sure they're going to have it next year. I would have to believe, Mark, if you're Major League Baseball, don't you have to have the Yankees or Dodgers in this game?
Yes. Probably if it was the Yankees this year, so Dodgers next year. I mean, that's the way I'd go.
And I would also, and then figure out who's the third best draw if you want to work them in one year, just so that you're not having Yankees, Dodgers every other year. Of course, you could kill two birds with one stone and have them play each other, but hello.
But you and I talk about that. Why would you do that for your opening game? Every opening game draws. Why do you put a game like that? Although those two ballparks, particularly the Dodgers right now, they sell out every game. I mean, you can get a Yankees ticket midweek. I mean, they still draw incredibly well. But the Dodgers, that's probably the toughest ticket in the sport right now.
Funny thing for the Dodgers sell the expensive seats. Usually the last tickets that get sold at Yankee Stadium are the expensive seats. They don't let you slide down. You know how like third, fourth, fifth inning, you can usually, most ballparks, you can slide down and sit in an expensive seat? They are strict about it at Yankee Stadium.
I wonder if you still can. I mean, I've not been to the ballpark in a while. I know I've been to like 2 games in the last, other than a Rays game, I've never moved. But when I was at Fenway, it was raining and it was tough for us. And I sat for one at bat because I wanted to just sit in the old seats really close. And we were leaving like the 5th inning, and it was 50 degrees and raining. It was miserable. And I was able to get down there, but it was people watch that. It's very different. Little history was just made at the Open Championship.
Really?
Lucas Herbert, who was a runner-up at the New Zealand Open. That's how he got in. He shot the second ever 28 for 9 holes in the Open Championship. 6 birdies, no bogeys on the front 9. He's your leader at 6 under through 9, but a 28.
Well, we talked about it.
9.
Talked about it yesterday, where it's a weird course in that there's no par 5 on the front 9. So
right, no par 5s and make 6 birdies and no bogeys. I mean, I understand that it's par 34, but there's no par 5s to make an eagle on. There's nothing, right? There's no short hole where 5's short and they can drive it. But you know what I'm saying? You've got to. That's some golf right there.
Well, and he did make 6 birdies. He parred 4, 6, and 8. A par 3 and 2 par 4s.
So he's your leader right now, but the second player in Open history to shoot 28 on a 9. Very impressive.
Yeah, and Patrick Reed's also going low. He's 5 under through his first 7. So some folks are tearing up the front 9, par 34.
Well, like yesterday, early morning, there's no wind. Yesterday, the winds picked up in the afternoon, and the morning scores were considerably better than the afternoon scores. We'll see if that's the same case today, because these courses with no wind, these greens are, not as difficult to putt as greens in the United States. They're not as fast. There's not as much break. And when these guys can attack and can roll the rock, they can go low. And that is happening thus far this morning. One guy this morning that's got to get that going is Rory. He's over par right now. Not that he's in any jeopardy of missing the cut, but when the conditions are there, you need to make your move. And thus far, he has not.
+1 looks as if it's going to be the cut line. There's around 90 guys. Now, some of those guys have yet to tee off, but there's around 90 guys that are +1 or better. And obviously, it's top 70 and ties who make the weekend.
And Rory currently at +1, 1 under through 4 today. We'll keep you updated on the Open, catch up with anything you may have missed. What happened yesterday? It's called the Starting Five, and it's next on Miller and Moulton.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound. Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332516.
This is Miller and Moulton.
I have no idea, LW. I have no idea who's going to be there. I just know for a fact I'm not going to be anywhere near it. I said my piece. I'm done. My wife can take my daughter. And I don't think anybody's divorced on our team. There's one mom, but she has a boyfriend and they just moved in together. She's a bodybuilder. She's in great shape. Nice lady from Bulgaria. Thanks, Brian.
We're doing the best we can. If anybody knows Feeney, okay, could you tell them we're thinking of them and hoping we can make him smile again soon?
Yeah, he lost his mom like months ago and lost his wife last week or earlier this week. I don't remember which, but in the last 7 days.
It was Deadstruck. When I anchored sports, I used to work that in from time to time.
Is it really?
What, Mark?
I'm talking to the chatters. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I was doing the same thing quickly. If something went wrong, I would turn to the anchor next to me, male or female, and go, "Well, I'll tell you, Wes, we're doing the best we can." Can't say what the real line is because it's, "God damn it, Jim." Couldn't say that.
Sounds like you just did. This guy's playing out of his tree. Just hit one from the fescue to like 18 feet.
Who's this, Lucas Herbert?
Yeah. In his, what are we going? Is that a fuchsia? I don't know what color we're going to go with that shirt. It's either a funky purple or a real dark pink. I don't know. I'm not against it.
If you don't have any other colors with you that are those colors, don't you have to wash those clothes tonight and wear them again tomorrow?
I don't know. He's got the hat that matches too. I mean,
and how superstitious are you?
Oh, Rory just hit one in the next county. Oh, he got a great kick. I mean, he was 30 yards right, hit a hill and bounced damn near to the fairway, and he's got a good lie. That fescue, I mean, I'm not saying it's easy to hit out of, but that's easier to hit out of than U.S. Open rough. I mean, that ain't close. But some of the Rory hit and he missed the putt. The bunker shot Rory hit yesterday, where he's on his right knee and his left. Morikawa had one.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes till the top of the hour. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com. Miller_Moulton on X. Mark is watching the Open Championship. So if anything significant happens in the next 15 minutes, he will jump in and go, hey, breaking news. But as of now, it's time for
The Starting Five. 5 big stories you need to know. Here is The Starting Five.
Well, we'll start with baseball. It's back in action after the All-Star break. At least 2 teams played last night. Mets and Phillies. Mets hit 3 solo homers and won 4-1. Phillies now 2.5 back of the Braves, 4 back in the loss column. Marlins just a game and a half behind the Phillies and just 1 back of Philadelphia in the loss column. Speaking of the Marlins, they're in Milwaukee. The first place Brewers, that's where Miami starts post All-Star break. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay Boston's winners of 9 in a row, and Tampa Bay is going to try to get Boston on the schneid. But a doubleheader today between the Rays and the Red Sox. Makeup of a game postponed 2 months ago. 135, 735. Rays and Red Sox at Fenway. A couple other baseball series worth paying attention to. Mark, when's the last time post All-Star break we said, hey, a series worth paying attention to is Pittsburgh-Cleveland? That's right, the Pirates.
David, that's such a good question because I don't know if there's hardly ever been a time. Man, I'm trying to think maybe when the Indians made the run when the Jake opened, were the Pirates or were they already done with their good run? You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
And we weren't doing a lot of interleague then, so I'm trying to think if there was a time that both of these teams were good at the same time.
Well, the 90s was not it because the Pirates won the 3 straight division titles, 90-92, and the Indians started to round into form 93, heading into 94. So
Because
they
it was
missed
the
each
strike
other.
year that the Indians were really good.
Right. They were either tied for first, a game out, something like that. I'll say this. The Pirates had that 3-4 year period, like 2012 to 2015. They made a couple of wild cards. They won the one series against the Reds. And maybe at the same time, the Indians and Pirates, maybe they crossed over a couple years there. I'm not sure. But Mark, that seems like our only chance of these two teams playing a meaningful series for both post All-Star break in 30 years.
Right. I mean, like basically in our life, I mean, I know they didn't play in our league back then, but I mean, in our lifetime, because for most of our childhood, the Indians were no good.
Right.
When the Pirates were good, the We Are Family teams and all that, the Indians weren't any good.
In fact, part of the Sports Illustrated jinx was in the early 90s. They picked the Indians to win the World Series, put them on their cover. Their baseball preview cover was the Indians. And Sports Illustrated proudly said they were going to win the World Series. And I think they lost like 94 games that year. It's kind of like people who picked the Mets this year to go to the World Series. And some people actually picked them to win it. Oops.
I will say, and I don't know if you watched your team play last night. I had it on, like I said, for the last 3 innings, and all of a sudden they come in and say, yep, basically it's out. Everybody but these 4 players is available from the Mets. 2 young guys, Soto, and I think there was someone else. You know what I mean?
Lindor.
No, Lindor's on the block.
Well, it's funny. He's got a no-trade clause. So I don't know how you can put somebody with a no-trade clause on the block.
There were 4 guys that were unavailable. Lindor was not one of them. That means they literally talked about it for a half inning. You're right on the no trade clause, but they can ask him.
That would be something. If you could trade somebody who's got like 4 years left on a contract, making 34 a year.
But if they want to change culture, the owner can eat some of that money. He can afford it, David.
He can. Yes, he can. Mentioned it earlier. Major League Baseball announcing the season will start March 24th next year. There'll be one game on the 24th, and then everybody else will play a game on March 25th, the earliest that baseball has ever started in the States. Open Championship. Your first round leader was American Jackson Suber, Suber. He shot a 5 under 65. He's even through 15 today. He is 1 shot behind Lucas Herbert, who shot a 6 under 28 on the front 9 and parred number 10. So Herbert leads Suber and Brett Cawley by 1. They're both at 5 under. Doing some quick math. There's a 5-way tie for, I guess technically it's 4th, 2 back. One of those 5 is Colin Morikawa. Seb Straka, Cameron Young, Francisco Molinari, Bryson DeChambeau amongst the big group. And by big, I mean 10 golfers that are 3 back at 3 under par. Scotty Scheffler tees off with DeChambeau right after our show. 10:04 Eastern is when those two tee off.
All right, I tee off at 10:40. How many holes of Scotty Scheffler will I get to see? He tees off 36 minutes before I do. How much of the back 9 do you think I'll see?
I'm guessing your average round is around 340.
340 this time of year, maybe 330 if it's quick. But yeah, 340 sounds about right.
And did you say you tee off at 1040?
That's correct.
So you're going to finish up around 215, 220.
Yep.
Huh. He's teeing off at 10:04. I mean, he's got 4 hours and 15 minutes to play his round of golf, and you two walking up 18 at the same time.
I think I see 2 holes.
Yeah, I say max. Oh, I mean, at least 17's a par 5. I hope you get to see him on 17. Whether or not Bryson uses any strategy or not, Sir Nick.
Oh boy, we'll get to that. We'll get to that a little later. Bryson was Bryson didn't talk to the media, who have just slapped him around for 2 days. No, talked to one guy for the RNA and delivered a haymaker.
So we'll get to that in a bit. Let's see what else we got. So remember all the hype around this Michigan Board of Regents meeting? Yeah. What's the one subject they didn't talk about during the more than half-day Board of Regents meeting yesterday? The one subject that apparently was going to be the only thing they were going to talk about. Ward Manuel, the AD at Michigan, and whether or not he should continue to have the job. By the way, are they going to talk about it today? Answer, we don't know. What the hell do you mean you don't know?
Not to mention, for a good chunk of the Board of Regents meeting, because it's a public forum, you can log in and listen. The audio didn't work.
Oh, my goodness.
People were posting it online of what it sounded like. It was just a bad look for Michigan. Whatever.
But now we don't even know if you're going to bring it up today. Like you said, it's a public thing. Isn't the public at least owed an itinerary? I think they're owed an itinerary and a guesstimated start time.
David, Michigan, and there's maybe a couple other states, but Michigan still votes on the Board of Regents in a statewide election for both Michigan and Michigan State. You run for this office. You're not appointed, which makes it even stranger.
Isn't it kind of like when we elect judges? I mean, with all due respect, and if you're a judge and you're listening, I'm not holding anything against you, but quite frankly, I don't know a damn thing about you. I mean, do you really think I should be voting on your future? I know everything's flawed. You could then, be hiring and promoting people for political connections. But I mean, how many of us know anything about a judge? A judge.
That's why I vote them all out, David, every time. It's always a no vote for me. Everyone, doesn't matter who it is.
So you're not even 2 terms with the judges. You're
Nope.
one and done.
You're gone. He gone. In fact, I do Hawk Harrelson while I'm voting.
You say it out loud. He
Yeah.
gone.
He gone.
She gone. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're ever in a voting booth and you hear somebody doing Hawk Harrelson, you know it's Mark Miller, and he's voting out all the judges. And Mark hasn't had to have any dealings with a judge in like 15 years, right?
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah.
Longer than that. I haven't been in front of a judge since my divorce.
Well,
I haven't been
yeah.
arrested. I haven't been arrested since then.
Well, we've got time today. Is there anything
No,
you'd like to
I'm
talk
good.
about? Get into
I'm
further
good.
detail? Okay. And finally, I mentioned these 2 scores because it's only one score. So there were supposed to be 2 WNBA games last night. Turns out there was only one. Portland beat Washington by 19. New York and Dallas couldn't play each other. Travel issues. Apparently the plane didn't work. Boy, they got this private travel and everything. Now they just can't get it to get off the ground. Although, you can't mess around if the sucker ain't working. This isn't something we try to force. No, I'm just going around the cookie, corner for donuts. No, you're not. You're going New York to Dallas. No. You'll stay here. We'll make this game up sometime. But travel issues. I love the odd reason why games and leagues get postponed throughout the year. And that, at 10 minutes before the hour, was Starting 5. 5 big stories you need to know here on Miller and Moulton. Another guy who was red hot, Lucas Herbert, 6 under for the day through 10. Morikawa has now gotten himself to 4 under. But our buddy Patrick Reed had it really going on, Mark. He was 5 under through 7, which made him 3 under for the tournament. Okay. He bogeyed 8. So he shot a 30 on the front nine. 4 under 30, Patrick Reed, who's 2 under and in the top 20 right now with that score. They believe you're going to have to get to 1 over to make the weekend.
Round of the day came, however, from Eric Cole, who, by the way, at one point played in the, whether it was the Coors Light, the Becks, or the Yingling at that time, but played in the tournament at the Fort Myers Country Club that they no longer have. Eric Cole in the clubhouse after shooting 76 yesterday. He fired a 64 today to get to even par and play on the weekend. Good for him. And when David says our buddy Patrick Reed, he's not our buddy. I don't like Patrick Reed. I like his game. David's the same way. He's a horrible person. I don't know if he's a horrible person. He's just a jerk. He doesn't like his family. Anybody that doesn't like his family, I've got a problem with. I mean, my family can annoy me, but I still invite him over for Thanksgiving, if you know what I mean. He doesn't.
Mark,
he doesn't talk to him.
It will be interesting if the cut ends up being even, because right now there are 67 golfers that are +1. Usually it's top 70 in ties, yet they're still telling us the projected cut is +1. Now, there's about a dozen of those +1 golfers who have yet to tee off. But most guys playing today are shooting even to slightly under par.
But remember, yesterday the winds picked up in the afternoon. The afternoon rounds were harder than the morning rounds. I would anticipate that the same thing happens today. So, yes, right now, T67 is +1. So we'll see what direction it goes in the afternoon. I think that's really, do the winds pick up and do the 1 overs go to 2 over, or do the 1 overs go back to even? That'll be what we'll find out. But this morning, they are firing at pins. They are making birdies all over the place. And that's going to continue for a couple of hours. There's no doubt there. But as the winds pick up, as they freshen, David, we'll see what happens this afternoon. The one thing we do know on Sunday, they didn't have to move the tee times up because England's not playing in the World Cup final. They have the Kiss Your Sister game tomorrow against France. Spain and Argentina will play in the final. Tommy Smyth at 9 a.m. to preview the World Cup final. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you.
I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
He has, I'd say it to his face, he has zero clue of strategy.
Once, but that's life.
Yeah, talk us. It's running super fast at the moment, but what did you find out after playing a competitive round with?
You know, I and focused super hard in placing it in the right places. Besides 8 today.
I will have both these clips ready here. Just give me 2 seconds. I should be able to have them up before the segment.
Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about.
Bryson and Nick Faldo.
Gotcha.
I thought you. I didn't realize you weren't listening. I didn't have the camera on.
Listen, I know some of you like to have fun in the chat room. Just remember, I have cancer. It's pretty serious. It's very painful. So if we could not do the Taco Bell jokes, I'd really appreciate it.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this Friday. Don't know if it'll be a football or a football or a golf and baseball Friday. Well, thanks for being with us. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. We'll keep you updated on the Open Championship. Mark has it on in his studio. So,
yeah, Herbert birdied 11. He just hit the green on 12. He's probably 18, 20 feet away there. He's playing the round of his life. I mean, he's in the tournament because he was the runner-up in the New Zealand Open. Hello.
So he's 7 under through 11.
That's correct. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got
on a par 70 too. So he pars in for 63. Never mind if he keeps going crazy, we could have a crazy number.
Well, and think about it. He hasn't played either par 5 yet.
Right.
So
well, they haven't been as easy. At least they weren't yesterday, Mark, those 2 par 5s. You know, like on a PGA Tour event, I mean, you just figure on birdies. You know, those guys tear them up. They were not automatic birdies yesterday.
No, like 17's a narrow green, the fescues all around. There's a pot bunker on each side. So no. It you know, and I just saw Suber there hit 17 and 2, and he was using a fairway wood to get there. So there's some length to it as well. But the wind, for the most part, is lying down right now. So, you know, I look at this a couple of different ways. You know, like the fact that this Super kid's playing well today, I'm elated for him. If he can shoot even par today after 5 under yesterday, that's amazing. Because for a moment in time, for a guy, I guess he's been on the tour 2 years. I didn't know who the hell he was, and I follow golf a little bit. But I don't care. Yeah, you want to win a major. Yes, you want to win tournaments. Yes, you want to have a long career. I don't know. There's something about saying I was the Thursday leader at the British Open. I was the Friday leader at the British Open. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's naive of me to think that way, but to be walking down a fairway on one of those golf courses and look at the big leaderboard and see your name on top. Again, this Herbert guy was the runner-up. He got in because he was the runner-up at the New Zealand Open.
Right, not the U.S. Open.
Right. So one of the...
I could say, Mark, I think you're dead on. And seriously, how impressed would you be, you know, in which you just come into contact with this guy at whatever stage of his life and said, oh, wow, you were a tour player for how many years? And he tells you, and then you go, wow, okay, what's the highlight of your career? And he goes, I was the 36-hole leader at the Open Championship. I'm sorry, what?
And even like this, and you know, right now Herbert's got a better score than Eric Cole. I shot 64 Friday at the at the British Open. Really?
Right.
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
well, I shot 28 on the front. I'm sorry, what did you say?
Thank you. But the big story from yesterday started a couple of days ago when Nick Faldo, Sir Nick, ripped Bryson DeChambeau.
Yes, he did.
And this is, I mean, this is the big line that came out of Nick's mouth about Bryson.
He has, I'd say it to his face, he has zero clue of strategy.
So yesterday, Bryson shoots a 3 under. By the way, a lot of the announcers thought it could have been 62, 63. He missed a couple of short putts. I mean, he was really good.
Well, didn't you late in his round, didn't he miss a 3-footer?
He missed 4 tops, 3 putted a hole on 18. He was over the green and was trying to figure out whether he wanted to chip or putt, and he putted to about 6 feet and missed that. So, you know, there were a couple of hiccups despite hitting the ball incredibly well all day. And then because the media there, I mean, they do attack, okay? They go for the throat. And because they love Nick, they were all over Bryson. And the golf media was all over Bryson. He hadn't made a cut in a major. Brando Chambly had a great line. He went from chasing Scotty and Rory to chasing Grant Horvat, the YouTube golfer. It's a great line. And, yesterday, Chambly had to, I think eat a little crow. But I listened to what he said about Bryson, and he was honest. They had the guy who worked for Sky Sports in there. They kind of went back and forth a little bit. I thought it was a really good bit of television. But then they went to Rex Hoggard, who's been on this show, my God, 50 times. Rex has been a guest. And by the way, Nick, I'd say it to Rex's face. I disagreed with Rex, who said that Bryson blew an opportunity when he didn't talk to the media after the run, because he could have changed the narrative. I don't think you can change the narrative on Thursday afternoon of the British Open. You can on Sunday if you win or finish 8th or whatever you do. But I had no problem with Bryson skipping out on the media because he did talk to someone from the RNA. He gave quotes, but he didn't go sit in front of the pool of print reporters, and TV reporters. Went and worked on his putting and talked to one guy. Well, Nick said what he said about strategy. Bryson came back with this.
I think you've got to be a lot more strategic out on the golf course. And I feel like I did a really good job today of being incredibly strategic and focused super hard and placing it in the right places. Besides 18, I placed the ball in some good areas, but just need to get more fairways. Other than that, I felt like my strategy was nice today.
Three times he went strategic or strategy.
Did he have only one middle finger up in the air when he was saying that, or did he give Nick the double bird while he was saying that? I might have, and this is very unlike me, but I was actually thinking about this yesterday when DeChambeau posted. And I'm thinking to myself, so if you're DeChambeau, when they ask you about Faldo, okay, do you make Nick look really bad by doing nothing but praise him? Okay, and just go, well, he's before Rory, he was the greatest golfer from this side of the pond, and he won this tournament 3 times. And, I'd like to think I know a little bit about strategy. I have won the U.S. Open twice, but, listen, if Nick Faldo has a critique about my game, I should probably listen.
The comments that, and I wish I had the guy who worked for Sky Sports that was on with Chambly. He just basically said, hey, look, Nick has no idea how to play Bryson's game. He hits it so far, you can't talk about these guys from that generation can't even talk about it.
I was going to say, when Nick won his last Masters there in 96, he might have been the shortest player in the field. And I'm not talking about height.
No, this is where sometimes, whether it's announcers, general managers, and others can't, they may have played, but they have no idea of what the modern game is. You said it the other day when talking about Wimbledon. Andy Roddick's really good at breaking this down. I love John McEnroe. John McEnroe played in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s. The game is unbelievably different today. Andy Roddick's played this game. He can explain it better to us than Johnny Mack can. He can.
And the players. It was still a while ago. It was a generation ago. But Andy Roddick was in the 2009 Wimbledon final against Federer, losing in 5. Okay, John's last Wimbledon final was 84. And when you were out there, you saw him play in the semis.
Right.
So,
and look, I love Johnny Mack, and I don't, maybe tennis guy would tell me it's easier to do that sport. But I'm not knocking Nick Faldo. I'm just saying that people take their shot. Bryson's a guy that gets shots taken at him. And before this tournament, it was easy because Bryson had played lousy
Yeah.
in the 3 previous majors. Oh, by the way, Lucas Herbert is now 8 under through 12.
Golly!
This tin cup stuff right here, man. This is out of a movie.
Man, Caddy just needs to make sure they got enough balls in the bag. Come on.
Well, trust me, he only needs 1 right now. But this is, was it Hogan that said about Nicholas, this is a game that I'm not familiar with? And, Nicholas said it maybe about Tiger. Then, but as generations go, the game changes. And yes, you have to hit more fairways at the British Open than you do maybe in other majors. It's not a just bomb it out there golf course. But Bryson, I'm not one of these media guys that I understand. The one thing, the media guys that say, well, they don't owe us anything. David said this right a long time ago. He was right then. He's right now. All we are is a conduit for the fans. And I don't even say because I don't really interview that many athletes. We occasionally get them on the show. It's great. We get former athletes. But for the current athlete who's speaking to the media, it's simply a conduit so the fans can hear it. And the media take themselves very seriously. And Golf Guy is a little bit of a sissy because Golf Guy gets all good press all the time. And when it goes the other way, largely they don't like it. But I didn't think Bryson was being immature with that. I thought Bryson's been taking slings and arrows. He can't throw any back with some sarcasm.
I was going to say tongue in cheek.
Come on, lighten up, Francis. If you're upset with what Bryson said, it's funny. And he did it with a blank-eating grin on his face.
The quote that Mark referenced, by the way, Ben Hogan and Jack Nicklaus played the 1960 U.S. Open together. I think that was the one that Arnie had the big comeback in and won. I think Jack finished 2 back. So at the end of the 36 holes, somebody goes up to Hogan and says, what do you think about the young kid? He goes, if that kid had a brain in his head, he would have won this tournament by 10. Okay. Back to you, Jim, in the studio.
But Bryson was also unbelievably complimentary of Scheffler. Said how much fun it was to see him play in person, what game he has, and complimented Hatton as well, but was very nice about Scotty Scheffler. Miller and Moulton.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Happy Joy, can I ask you a question? He won the U.S. Open twice. Can you be a bad rough player and win the U.S. Open twice? One of them at Winged Foot. Yeah, Happy Joy. He doesn't play any different today than he did when he won at Winged Foot. Not any different. In fact, his strategy was I'm a pretty accurate driver, but if I miss the fairway, I'd rather miss it 60, 80 yards down the fairway hitting the big stick than laying up and hitting 2-iron or 3-wood. I thought it was very team-friendly, Koffenbach. I was surprised he signed the deal. Well, and, he may only have one good round in him, Happy Joy. Man, who knows? He might miss the cut. But I don't think he can win two U.S. Opens and be considered a bad rough player. That's all. Once again, you guys never allow anybody to have a bad year. Jack Nicklaus stunk in 1979. Stunk. It was terrible. 78, he won the British. 80, he won the U.S. Open and the PGA. But in 79, he was terrible. Rory went 11 years without winning a major.
I know amateurs that have, not a lot of pros have. Daly was not analytical, articulate. Daly was just a guy that smoked cigarettes, drank Miller Lights, and hit the ball a long way. The way he's approached the game is vastly different than anybody who's ever played it before. And he's won at the highest level.
Two majors.
To compare him to Daly is ridiculous to me. Even though Daly won 2 majors, it's a ridiculous comparison. They are completely different in so many different ways. But
don't you think it's ironic? The engineer from Purdue.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Neil Solondz, part of the Rays radio network. He will join us a little over an hour. Tommy Smyth will preview Spain and Argentina for the World Cup Championship Sunday afternoon. And we'll probably go back and ask Tommy point blank, how much blame should the England manager get? Because, man, are they banging on him.
He should be fired. He should be fired. It's a joke. Don't even get me started. That guy shouldn't have been able to get on the team. He shouldn't be coaching the team on Saturday.
So we'll ask Tommy Smyth about that coming up. We said an hour ago that the magic numbers 43 and 54, 6 weeks tomorrow, 43 days away from the start of the college football season, 54 days away from the start of the NFL season. 8 weeks from last night, we had the Rams and the Niners playing in Australia. So 43 and 54, we go with the NFL number to ask you to name some of the famous 54s. And we're starting to get to numbers in which you think of more than one sport.
Although 54 is a blank slate in hockey. 55 had a bunch of hockey players.
Right.
A bunch. But 54, I'm not seeing anything that even comes out to me. I mean, there's Adam McQuaid, who wore it the longest, probably played 1 year with half a year with your team. But, he wore it in Boston for a decade, basically. But, I mean, he's not a household name by any means. That's about it. But I will throw in one just to do it for my backyard here in Southwest Florida. And I know there's a lot of other places listening on the network. But Gavin Brindley, born in Southwest Florida, played his hockey right here, driver 5-iron from my house, and made his way to junior and then to collegiate play, and played last year with the Colorado Avalanche and wore number 54.
By the way, driver 5-iron, are we counting on that first bounce being pavement?
Yes, first two. And then I've got to hit that 5-iron and land it exactly on I-75 to hop the fence.
Gotcha. No, I think you're right. Driver 5-iron. It's just, the theme of the show lately has been strategic. I just think you have to be very strategic.
No doubt.
Driver 5-iron.
It's a little more than that. It's a little more than that. But you know the point. 54 in hoop. There's a really good one. But there's a really good one. I mean, I think you got to start with Horace Grant, right?
Well, and, remember when Orlando beat Chicago and Jordan had come back and Horace was feeling it, and he said Michael's never won anything without Horace? Yeah, they met in the conference finals the next year. Jordan and the Bulls swept the Magic. That was Shaq's last year with the Magic. Yeah.
But there's some, some other 54s. I have to do this one for me because this is, Isaiah tells one of the best stories about Bird because they obviously knew one another. And Isaiah says, Larry's mom used to write me notes when in college and in the pros. She was great to me. Wonderful lady. And he said, so we play Boston. And, Larry's, I forgot what he said Larry called him, but he had a name that he called Isaiah. And he goes, who you got? He says, well, we got Lambier, and we got Trapuka, and we got Benson. And no brother's going to cover me?
Right.
So Kent Benson, 54 for the Pistons.
There you go.
So that just made me think of that story. Cheese. Yes. Thank you, Deadstroke, for pointing that out. So, baseball, David, there's one big one to me.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Coming out of the pen, Goose Gossage. And, of course, you remember Gossage favorably because
I love Goose.
you're a Tigers fan. That ball's still traveling somewhere.
Man, that was 10th grade. 10th grade.
Did you ever see the clip? Because either Gossage or McKeon was mic'd. Okay,
Yeah.
and so they go out, and whether or not they're going to pitch to Gibby or not, and the manager wanted to walk him, and Gossage was like, no.
I strike this guy all the time, and he did.
Yep.
I mean, Gossage wasn't wrong.
Nope.
He owned Gibson. I'm going to get you. What you mean you're striking him out? And they had both. I think both managers, because there's the Sparky side,
Right.
and he's looking at him going, he's not going to walk you. And Sparky's just like telling him to, swing easy. Just, don't, basically trying to tell him not to overswing. He ain't going to walk you. It's a fantastic clip. I mean, how they had all this audio and seemingly hid it from us from all these years. But 54 means linebackers, David.
Sure does.
It means linebackers and maybe a D tackle too.
Right. Whether or not you thought of Randy White as a linebacker or a D tackle, most of us remember him as a defensive tackle.
I certainly do. But Urlacher,
Yep.
Randy White,
Zach Thomas.
Bobby Wagner.
Yeah, who I think will get there someday.
Right. I mean, that starts the list off pretty well.
I know they all played inside linebacker, but how about if you had to for a season? If you sat Urlacher, Zach Thomas, and Bobby Wagner down and said, listen, one of you is going to play inside, but, it's a 4-3 and two of you are playing outside. I have a feeling they'd still get the job done.
So, I mean, there's a few more. I mean, Teddy Bruschi wore 54.
Yeah.
What else we got here? I got a couple other. Dante Hightower wore 54. Brandon Marshall wore it for the Broncos. Chapman wore it for the Yankees. So,
Who for the Broncos?
Brandon Marshall won a Super Bowl with him. I'm looking at him in the jersey, so maybe I'm wrong, but played with a few teams, but wore it for Denver and won a Super Bowl with him. I know you're questioning me right now. I can see it.
I'm thinking, is there a different Brandon Marshall? Are we talking the receiver?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because I'm sitting here
Good
going,
player. All right. Chuck Howley wore it for the Bears back in the day. You got to go back way there.
I think he also wore it for the Cowboys when in the early Super Bowls when they played the Colts and the Dolphins back to back.
But Levante David wore it.
Got a lot of good players we're naming here.
Right. I mean, linebacker was kind of important for a long time.
Right. Now it's pass rushing edges and cover corners.
Exactly. And I do look at this is one of my old school things. I don't like wearing whatever number you want in football. I don't. That's just me.
Well, you know why I hate it.
Oh, for work. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, it was great when they all, were lumped between certain numbers. You knew what position they played just by their number. Now it's like college ball, which is crazy.
So there's some 54s. You can always text in if we missed one. We'll get to it. Pelican Roofing of Florida text line is open.
Did you ever hear the Jimmy Johnson story about Randy White? Because Randy only played for Landry, and he shows up at Jimmy's first camp. Okay, he does one practice, and he says to Jimmy, "Yeah, I'm retiring." And Jimmy said, "Yeah, I think that's probably best." Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Mark
Well, Tim, you've certainly shown you're a Giants fan between your Byron Hunt, Brian Kelly, Gary Reasons, and now Andy Hedden. Oh, jeez.
David, not because you were standing up and not because of the chat room, but if I don't bring up the Taco Bell lettuce and exploding diarrhea, I feel as if I've done a disservice to our audience.
Then feel free.
I can't really take joy in others having something like this, but the fact that it came out that Taco Bell's lettuce may be a part of it is flipping hysterical. It's their lettuce, really?
Right.
All these years later, that's what we're going to say?
It's not the beans in the
Right.
bean burrito.
And the sauce and everything else that goes
Right.
with this. The Anchorito was good. I'm just saying. I think they brought it back at different times. One of my favorites growing up. Be a new one today. I'm going to be editing the 4th hour of the podcast, probably on the practice tee. I got to get over there. 10:40 is too early for me. I don't have anybody that can do it. I'm screwed.
What the hell? Phew.
Really mellow. Must not be a drinker. I mean, I don't know how at one point in your life at 2 a.m, if you didn't run to the border, you can't tell me you partied. That's all. I'm sorry.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
"22 minutes to the top of the hour. Neil Solondz, one of the radio voices of the Tampa Bay Rays, will join us 1 hour from now. Tommy Smyth, he covers soccer for a living. He'll join us at the top of the bonus hour, 9 a.m. Eastern. Tommy Smyth.
Couple of 54s we didn't get to. Jay Knoll brought it up in the chat room. Chris Spielman. That's a damn good 54.
It is.
Not the list at the top, but that's a damn good 54. 2 others, both Hoopers. One, good, not great. The other, I don't know if he's either, but I just can't believe I forgot to say his name on the air. Ed Pinckney wore 54, played for a bunch of teams, but wore it throughout his career. And Popeye Jones. I just wanted to say Popeye Jones today. I don't think he gets enough love in the sports world, period.
Really? Or do you just like the name that much?
He could hoop.
Good.
Popeye could fill it. Popeye could get you a bucket.
Yes, he could.
He was what he was.
Pinckney was a better college player than an NBA player, but had a long NBA career.
That's what astonished me when I had it, because I actually had that in front of me. I'm like, wow, you played in the NBA a long time. A lot of teams. I remember your college days more than your pro days, but you had a long NBA career.
I'm trying to think, because Ronnie Cycli was on Syracuse when they played for the title in '87. But I'm trying to think if Ronnie Cycli was playing for Syracuse in '85. But obviously Ewing was at Georgetown, but Bill Wennington was at St. John's. Pinckney was at Villanova. If Cycli was also at Syracuse during that time, I mean,
I think it was a little later, but I could be wrong. I thought Cycli was a little younger than those two, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, no. He's, I know he played on the '87 Syracuse team. I just don't know if he played in '85.
So, David, this is a subject in an area that, you don't really go to on a radio show, let alone a sports talk show. But I can't help myself. I have been sitting on this for a while. There is a health problem going around this country right now.
What's that?
Exploding diarrhea.
Oh, yeah.
Not just diarrhea, exploding diarrhea.
Right. Which I have to admit, I've never known diarrhea not to be of the exploding variety.
Thank you. And as someone who's taking nearly 20 pills a day, I can relate to this. I know that's too much information, but that's as far as I'm going to go. But, there are different people on social media and different places that are constantly advancing the story with where it could be coming from. Is it raspberries? Is it basil? Is it lettuce that, apparently now you're only supposed to buy lettuce that's on the head, if you will, like not the bagged lettuce. They have attributed it maybe to the bags of lettuce you get at grocery stores. And I'm like, well, good. We just buy heads of lettuce. I'm fine. But I just made a raspberry gelato and I'm a little scared. So I think we're safe. And I grow my own basil, so I know I'm fine there. And I'm very fortunate because late yesterday it came out, David, that there may be yet another culprit. And I have to say, when they attributed this story to the lettuce at this place, I first thought, is it really the lettuce? Because yesterday, apparently Taco Bell has been accused of being part of the problem for the exploding diarrhea epidemic that's gone through the Midwest. Apparently, there are 4,000 known cases in Michigan and Ohio. And I thought they were just getting sick of the story in Ann Arbor. But now Taco Bell has been dragged into the mud, literally.
But it's Taco Bell's lettuce.
Their lettuce.
It's not the beans in the burrito. It's not any of their salsa or sauces.
It's not
the
24,
lettuce.
Right. It's not the 24 Bush lattes that someone had before going through the drive-thru at 3 a.m.
So you mean to tell me the healthiest food item that most of us believe is handed out by Taco Bell is what's making us sick?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Gotcha.
I wish I had the little bell right now. But yes, I couldn't help myself. Like I said, David, I've literally been sitting on this story for a while and thought I would bring it up. But I did also quickly bring up what's going on in Ann Arbor. And the president of Michigan was asked yesterday if Manuel, the athletic director, because Manuel said he's one of the best athletic directors in the country. And they took that quote to the president of the University of Michigan and asked him, and he agreed with his athletic director's assessment of himself.
Yes. He's a fan. He wants him to stay on. He doesn't want anybody to advocate getting rid of him, even suspending him. He's like, leave him alone. He's doing a great job.
Now, there's a lot of salacious material that's coming out about Sharon Moore and his affair. I have to be consistent here. It's a terrible look. This was with a subordinate. This is different than some of the other things that, the affair, like the San Antonio Spurs announcer that was fired for cheating on his girlfriend. I find that to be deplorable. You've heard me all along saying the Vrabel thing's a non-issue inside the Patriot locker room. I know a lot of you think that it is. By the way, with all of this, I'm not picking the Patriots to go to the playoffs next year. I'm not. But I don't think it's because of Vrabel's infidelity, okay? I think it's because they had the easiest schedule perhaps in the history of the National Football League last year.
Now, just to make sure that it comes across the way you intended it, okay, you think the Spurs announcer being fired, okay, for cheating on his
Girlfriend
is preposterous by the Spurs.
Yes.
Not by the announcer. No, I know, but people, the way the way you said it, people could have gone either way. Who's ridiculous in their actions here, the announcer or the team? And we believe, first off, I mean, I even wonder if it's legal. I swear. Now, the guy can't sue because if he sues the Spurs, no other team will hire him. So he's just got to take his medicine and be out of the league for a while.
Hopefully not long, because by all accounts, he's apparently
very good,
a really good announcer. Like, he was on the short list of the young guys that people think highly of in that sport. I don't listen to Spurs games on television. I have no idea. But right now, we don't know exactly, Mickelson, if he was, trying to come on to a waitress at a club that didn't want his advances, that's just dirty and gross. But if the whole thing about him maybe doing things outside of his marriage and leaving the golf, the phone in the cart, we're slamming him, and then everybody still loves Tiger. I mean, you guys pick what infidelity you're okay with. You do. But I'm not, that's not me. I don't care. Like, I don't think Vrabel cheating on his wife affects the Patriots this year. I don't. I think their schedule will.
Yes.
I think that will. I think they caught a little lightning in a bottle last year. And I'm picking them to be a, 8-9 win team this year. I could be way off, by the way. But to the Michigan thing, I look at the some of the stuff that I'm hearing about the Sharon Moore thing. I laugh at it. It was with someone who worked for him. You deserve, whether it's fired, suspended, whatever you want to do. If he'd have won 11 games, he wouldn't have got fired. I truly believe that. But I am curious with the lawsuits and what Manuel knew about the cheating. Like, to me, that's relevant, David. That's the part of this. And the other part of it that I guess I have the biggest problem with is that they spent $11 million. This is a public institution. The Freedom of Information Act is there. But yet there's no written report of this. This was a verbal report, so they don't have to give the Freedom of Information Act. This law firm is peppered with graduates from Michigan's law school that are partners. That's just a fact.
Well, also, somebody has to be the bean counter. You're going to charge me $12 million and nothing's written down? Yeah, I don't think so. I got to justify cutting this check. You got to show me some work product here. I know why you don't. I get it. You don't want to embarrass the University of Michigan. I get it. I don't know what to tell you. I'm writing you a check for $12 million. Okay? No offense. You're not making a presentation in front of the classroom. I need a book report. Now, if you also have to do a presentation in front of the classroom, that's fine. But I need a book report. $12 million.
And because there's no written part of this, it's where it gets fascinating, because we had Tony Garcia from the Detroit Free Press on the show earlier this week. If you list Manuel's accomplishments from the athletic department, they're amazing. Now, the scandals on the other side are also incredibly amazing. But you've won a natty in basketball. You've won a natty in football. You've been to the Final Four in hockey. Your Olympic sports are doing incredibly well.
I mean, you could argue Michigan's never been better at sports than they are right now.
Right. Now, the show cause penalties for the number of coaches that have been given them at the University of Michigan.
Ooh. Alarming.
Yeah.
Alarming. Yeah. But we'll find out. Is winning all that matters? And obviously to the president of the university it is.
Which is shocking to me, David. That's the part that the president backing the athletic director in the way that he is very surprising to me.
Can I ask a question? How do you fire an athletic director if the president of the university is in his corner?
Well, and this is where, the Board of Regents thing. Michigan State just had an athletic director and president walk out. The president ended up staying. They were in hot fights with the Board of Regents there. These are all elected officials. It's a strange setup in that state. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay, be objective here. So, let's just say you're neutral. And let's just say you're not very knowledgeable about the situation. And so there's the president of Michigan, and then there's somebody on that board that you trust the most. The president of the University of Michigan is 100% in Ward Manuel's corner. And the guy on the Board of Regents, or the woman, okay, that you trust the most is dead set against him being employed for another day. Who are you going to listen to?
Probably the president, David.
I was going to say, how could anybody have more knowledge about Ward Manuel and the job he's doing and secrets and what have you, illicit behavior, than the president of the university, right?
To me, this is and again, the lawsuits that are trying to come out and say that Manuel knew about the Connor Staniel stuff and they buried a bunch of it. I'm fascinated by this. I am. This isn't a me not liking Michigan thing, because I think I've been very fair when it comes to the University of Michigan on this show for years.
All I can think of right now, I know it's not apples to apples, but it's at least apples to oranges. Remember when President of Ohio State, Gordon Gee, said, wait, you're worried we might fire Jim Tressel? I'm worried he might fire me.
Thank you.
I mean, it sounds like the president of Michigan's thinking the same thing. I'm worried that they're going to fire me.
Well, and this is, with that being said, it is funny how the Buckeye fan is reacting to all this, how the SEC fan is reacting to all of this. There's part of me that the SEC fan quietly out the side of his mouth going, why didn't we think about this?
I think the SEC fans just like, this is so good. Now we can cheat, and what can anybody say? Michigan did it, won a natty. Okay?
Florida State sitting there going, can we get our indoor track championship back for an online class, for the love of God?
Can we go back to cheating, please? Please? Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Happy, first off, it's Canada why we have the fires. That's the first thing. All of the smoke in Michigan's from Canada. Maybe we should just take over Canada. Take them with Greenland. And Ohio has as many cases of the exploding diarrhea as Michigan. Oh, by the way, the
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floormeister Studios. Floormeisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Halfway home, at least in Jacksonville and Tampa St. Pete, on this Friday, final hour in Southwest Florida, Punta Gorda, Port Charlotte, Venice, Live Oak and Lake City, Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Mark, I know you've said it before, but, you know, people are constantly in and out, times of year, days of the week, particular hours. So sometimes we have to say something more than once. But you've been big on the Patriots missing the playoffs this year for a few months now. You just think, listen, they had everything go right for them last year, including a schedule that was not to be believed. Can we just do the schedule game with the Patriots this year?
Oh, yeah. David, come on. No one loves the schedule game quite like me. One of my favorite games.
Well, I don't know about that, but
it is. I mean, Risk, you know, I'm a big fan of Uno, but the schedule game's more fun than both of those.
Is Monopoly, is it kind of like our injuries Monopoly? Whether you land on,
Monopoly's overrated. It's I think the most overrated board game of all time.
Oh, wow. Wow, them's fighting words.
That's a bolder statement than the Patriots missing the playoffs. All right.
Well, obviously we know they open at Seattle.
0-1.
They're home for Pittsburgh.
I'll go 1-1.
Now, if you remember early in the season last year, Patriots actually lost to the Steelers at home. At Jacksonville.
1-2.
At Buffalo.
1-3.
Now, if you're right, they should get it back together here. They're home for the Raiders and home for the Jets.
So we're 3-3. 6
then
games.
Then you're going to Chicago on a Thursday night.
You're going to lose, so you're 3-4. But the good news is you come back and play Miami on the road. That'll be a win.
Now, the one thing to remember, Patriots fan or not, when they go to Chicago on that Thursday night, that begins a stretch of 6 road games to only 3 home games. So the middle of their schedule is on the road. Now, they were undefeated on the road last year. So take it what you will. But they're 3-3. They lose at Chicago on a Thursday. 10 days later, they go to Miami, beat the Dolphins. They're 4-4. Then they host the Packers. Then they play the Lions in Germany.
Can I just give them a split there? I'm not going to say which, but.
Okay. So now they're 5-5. They go to the Chargers for Sunday Night Football.
It's a loss.
Oh, okay. Then they host the Bills.
That's a loss. So now they're 6-8.
Whoa.
They're getting swept by the Bills. I'm telling you that right now. That's the reason they're not missing the playoffs, or missing the playoffs, rather. They're getting swept by the Bills.
Okay. Now, I think you've added some games. I think they're 5-7. All right. Then they host the Vikings on a Thursday night. So the Vikings in mid-December have a short week. Going to give them a win?
Yeah.
Okay, 6-7. If my math is right. Then
okay,
they're
7.
Then they're at Kansas City.
Put it this way, out of their last 4 games, they will win 2 or 3.
Well, because they're at the Jets and they're home for the Dolphins.
But they've got Kansas City and the Broncos. They're losing one of them. They go 3-1 in their last 4.
Okay. Now
that's 9.
That's 9-8 then. But you think that they're 9-8, they'll miss the playoffs. Okay. Well, you're consistent though. You played the schedule game. You only came up with 9. And you think the reason they're going to miss the playoffs is they're going to get swept by Buffalo. Okay. Fair enough. And you have them going 4-0 against the Jets and Dolphins also. You're not doctoring this, if you will. You're going, no. They'll take care of the bottom half of the division. So there you go. That's the schedule game. They play 6 teams who had losing records, or 6 games against teams with losing records last year. 2 against the Jets, 2 against the Dolphins. Okay. They play Kansas City, who had a losing record last year. And then trying to remember who the other team was that had a losing record that they play. Oh, the Raiders.
Right.
So 2 against the Jets, 2 against the Dolphins, 1 against the Raiders, and 1 against the Chiefs. So, okay. 4-2 in the division, both the losses to Buffalo. And they finish strong, but they post 9-8 and see if it's good enough. Okay. But I just wanted to point out to everybody that the missing the playoffs prediction is not crazy because of how much tougher their schedule is this year. At least it appears that way now, than what last year's schedule ended up being, which was staggeringly easy. What will be interesting, though, is how many times does a team go 5 games worse than the year before?
But, David, we always talk about the team that goes from double-digit losses to making the playoffs.
Right.
It happens both ways. So that's all. I just...
Yep.
And look, I'm not rooting against them. I just thought that they were a flawed team. They won a lot of close games. Yes, they did lose to the Raiders last year. Yes, they did lose to the Steelers last year. But they beat a bad Saints team early in the season when the Saints were bad by 4 or 5 points. I mean, look at their wins last year. They beat the Dolphins in a close game. I haven't beaten the Dolphins and the Jets that's 4-0.
Right. And plus, there is a thing called the Super Bowl jinx, in which historically teams that lose the Super Bowl oftentimes do much poorly the next year. The Super Bowl hangover is real. So there you have it. Open Championship, obviously still going on. And Lucas Herbert is 8 under on the day through 14. He pars in for 62. He has a 2-shot lead over first-round leader, American Jackson Suber, Suber.
Who shot 1 under today, 69. That is a great round for him. It is. I know it was set up to be a little easier in the morning. I get it. But you're a no-name. You were leading the British Open. You know how easy it is to go out and shoot 74 because you didn't sleep last night? Good for him. Good round of golf. That makes me happy.
He's the 83rd ranked golfer on the money list.
Right now, at this moment in time, 1 over is tied for 70th. Cam Smith is 2 over in the clubhouse. Goodbye. Tom Kim, who won last week, is 2 over playing 18. Probably needs a birdie to see the weekend. Matt Fitzpatrick is 2 over through 11 today. Hideki was 2 over yesterday. He has not teed off yet today. So a lot of golf left, and don't know how the course is going to play this afternoon, but it's certainly interesting. Rory's got it to 2 under today, even for the tournament.
And here's why 2 over is not going to make it. Because there are 20.
Over's not going to make it. Hell no.
Because there are 23 golfers that are 1 over. They would all have to get to 2 over for 2 over to make the cut. So right now, 1 over at best is going to make the cut. And we'll see if even comes into play throughout the day. 23 golfers at 1 over.
By the way, Sam Burns 5 under today, for what it's worth, 2 under for the tournament. So he's got it going. You mentioned Patrick Reed having a day. He's 6 under on the day, heading to the 15th. So there are scores to be had. Eric Cole already shot a 64 this morning after a 76 yesterday.
You know what I love? If you ever look up golf scores, okay, they tell you what place you're in, and then right next to it, they tell you plus minus how many positions you've either gained or lost during your round. Patrick Reed, 2 over first round, he ain't making the cut. Patrick Reed, 6 under with 4 holes to go in his second round. Yeah, he's jumped up 78 places. That's half the field, literally half the field.
One other thing, since we did talk a little college football earlier in the show, and I didn't bring this up, but Cody Campbell, the big booster for Texas Tech, you know, he does all those ads and basically speaks out of both sides of his mouth. We've got to fix collegiate athletics, but in the meantime, I'm going to dump all my money into spending it to make Texas Tech good at everything. It's not just NIL that he's willing to spend his money on, because the Texas Attorney General there that was telling the Big 12, we're coming after you if you come after Texas Tech. Yeah, right before that happened, Cody Campbell made a rather large donation into his campaign.
Like $250,000.
Right.
And then amazingly, the Attorney General of the state of Texas, okay, threatened that they were going to put the Big 12 out of business and blow them to smithereens.
Yeah.
Huh.
Wow.
Seems like a correlation to the money, but that could just be us interpreting it incorrectly.
$234,000 donation, and the next day he comes down with scorched earth on the Big 12.
Right. Just a coincidence. Totally.
Just a coincidence.
Totally.
Miller and Moulton, we've got some Tampa Bay Rays talk coming up, bottom of the hour. Tommy Smyth, top of the 9 o'clock hour, to preview the World Cup final on Miller and Moulton.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Be happy to do a quick Broncos schedule game. I think they win the division. I've said that for a while. I don't think. I think that. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. They open with the Chiefs at Arrowhead. With no Mahomes, that should be a win. Man, their first 6 are a beast. At Kansas City, home for Jacksonville, home for the Rams, at the Niners, at the Chargers, home for the Seahawks. I'll go 4-2 there. Do they sweep the Chiefs? That's what's interesting because they play them both early. They'll beat Arizona, so that's 5-2. Let's just say they beat the Chiefs 6-2, lose at Carolina, just for blanks and giggles, 6-3. Beat Vegas 7-3. At Pittsburgh. Whew. It's a Friday night. That's right after Thanksgiving. Short week. I'll hedge and just say a loss. 7-4. Dolphins at home 8-4. Jets on the road 9-4. Raiders 10-4. Home for the Bill. They finished Bills, Patriots, Chargers. Bills and Chargers at home. I gotta think they're going to win 12 games. I do. I think they'll get 2 of those last 3. You know, if the Patriots can beat them, then that's the Patriots going to the playoffs. But I think 11-12 is very realistic, Left Twix. I don't know what to say. It's a great roster. It's not an overly difficult schedule. Yeah, they play the West, which is the NFC West, which is tough. Their division's really good. But I mean, your one crossover division winners, Carolina. What a break that is. And then Jacksonville's the other. I mean, do we really think Jacksonville's going to be as good as they were a year ago? And they beat them. You know, they lost to Jacksonville last year. I don't think I'm that far off, Left Twix. And apparently thousands of people entered that or got into that whole baby pitcher thing. Yes. Herbert split the fairway on 16.
Thought he was in trouble on 15. I guess he got out of it.
The most stacked.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Neil Solondz, one of the Rays radio announcers, will join us in a little more than 15 minutes. Tommy Smyth, top of the hour, preview the World Cup final between the top two teams in the world, according to FIFA. Number one, Argentina, trying to repeat against number two, Spain. One team is the champions of South America, and the other team's the European champs. All right, let's get this party started. Sunday afternoon in Jersey. Third place match tomorrow late afternoon, 5 o'clock in Miami, France and England.
Apparently, ticket prices for that are just plummeting. Are we? I mean, is this the one miss the World Cup has? And I know the Golden Boot's still on the line, so there are reasons to play that game, and it's England and France, so I'm guessing once the game starts, they'll be into it. But man, could you imagine? At least, and I have stopped David as many times as I could when, to me, he goes too American about what's wrong with soccer. We watch it once every 4 years. My philosophy is shut up. Just watch it, move on. We'll forget about it in a few days, and we'll talk about it again in 4 years when the U.S. disappoints the country. But could you imagine the AFC and NFC champions and the losers of that game playing the week or the day before the Super Bowl?
And obviously we can't. I mean, it literally sounds preposterous to us.
Yeah.
I will say college basketball, they used to have a third place game. It was played literally 3 hours before the final. Was played Monday late afternoon, and then they'd play the final Monday night.
When was the last one?
I believe it was the day Reagan got shot in 81. I think the Final Four was in Philly. Don't quote me on that one. I know when Indiana won in 76, okay, they won in Philly, but I don't know if it was 81. And I believe that was the last third place game. The only thing I will, and I hate to think this way, but Mark, do you think it's possible that the reason they still have a third place game is money? Economy. They're going to sell thousands of hotel rooms. They're going to pack restaurants for 2 extra days. They're going to, that's 3 more hours of programming for Fox in the States. Never mind where else around the world. I'm wondering if it's just part of FIFA's cash grab, appease our networks and appease the host countries for shelling out what they had to shell out to get this, and you give them more inventory.
I mean, look, it's still not cheap, but you can get in for $635 right now. I would imagine that'll be closer to 300 come kick. And there's part of me, as I've said, with what's going on with me, I can't be in big crowds. This is probably the one I might suck it up and say, wow, I get to see Mbappe and Harry Kane play for that.
Where if they both had won, by the way, you'd be adding a 0 to that figure. And
a 0 and then and at least doubling it, David.
So you think it would cost, the final would have cost $13,000?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right.
David, right now, the cheapest ticket for the World Cup final, the cheapest ticket is $7,900 for Spain and Argentina.
That's some coin.
I mean, that's the
McCoy.
cheapest ticket. That's an end zone 300 level seat.
All right. What's the most money you've ever spent for anything? Music, sports?
Honestly, when I bought the Masters tickets for my father and I, that auction that you were at many years ago, the 07 Masters, I spent, and it was, I mean, I actually think it was a deal. I spent $5,400 on Masters tickets for Thursday and Friday. It included round trip airfare from RSW to Atlanta, and it included 2 nights in a hotel, be it a Night's Inn, but 2 nights in a hotel for $5,400. It was worth every flippin' penny.
Especially since, I mean, you got 2 days on the
Right.
grounds too, not just the one round. So, yeah. Well, and if you break that down, I mean, you split it in half, it's $2,700 a day, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's 20 years ago, by the way. I mean,
Right.
it is 20 years ago.
Right. That's $2,700 a day. That's $1,350 a ticket. But then that includes airfare and hotel. So let's just say $1,000 per
Right.
ticket is probably what you paid.
Yeah, I mean, I will say AirTran at that time was cheap. I mean, really and truly, it was about $200 round trip per
Right,
ticket for the flights.
Right.
Just Atlanta. I mean, that's a cheap ticket. But so I would say 400 was airfare. The hotel for a Night's Inn, I know they gouge, but I still can't imagine that was more than 300 a night.
Right.
For the Night's Inn there on Washington in Augusta.
So that would have come out to $1,000 a ticket perfectly with those rates. That, you know, $1,000 for you and $1,000 for your dad for each day. So I paid more than that for a concert one time. I paid $1,200 and change for tickets to a concert.
Who?
Springsteen.
Okay.
Because I thought this might be his last tour. Or if not, last tour that I see. One or the other. So I was playing the percentages there. I'm like, yeah, I got to see him. I mean, I've only seen him like 5 other times. I really got to see him this time.
So, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I won't spend that kind of money for a concert. I really won't. And because I don't like the idea of seeing, and I'm not saying Springsteen's a has-been, so don't get mad at me, but the idea of seeing an old artist who's way past his prime does nothing for me, even if I haven't seen them. Now, I've seen a lot of these art, like, you know, I almost went to Vegas with my kid to see Dead and Company just because he'd never seen the Dead. And I wish we would have done that. But the bands that I want to see live are bands that most of these people have never listened to. Like, I will spend money to take my son to Denver and go see about 3 different artists at Red Rocks because I want to see a show there. I'd like to see Widespread Panic there. But if it was a Sturgill Simpson, a Tyler Childers, a Billy Strings, I'm in. That's about my list right now for shows. So the concert tickets for these has-been acts blow me away. What people are spending to go to the Sphere to see the Eagles with Glenn Fry long in the grave is beyond me.
Right.
But hey, there's a lot of money out there and people are spending it. So knock yourself out. Like, I want to go to the Sphere. I'm just waiting for the right artist to go see at the Sphere.
Right.
The Eagles doesn't do it for me. No Doubt doesn't do it for me.
I thought about doing U2, but I've seen them before, and those prices were woof.
And by all accounts, they didn't play any music you would have known at those events.
Well, which would have, I think that's rude. I mean, I get it. You get tired of playing certain songs and what have you, but you ain't there for you. Come on now. We're paying really good money. You're there for us.
Yeah, I heard a new Yeah.
No, keep going.
No, I mean, I heard a new U2 song the other day. They've got another album coming out, and they played it on one of the stations I listened to, and I'm like, yeah, no. I tried to listen with an open mind. I'm like, this isn't good, guys. It's not 1980 anymore. I hate to break it to you. It's not even 1987. Hell, it's not the mid-90s, guys. How about trying for a hit? That's all. You know who needs to try for a few hits? The Rays. I think this is a big series for them. Red Sox are red hot.
Yep. I think it's bigger for the Sox to keep on keeping on, but the Rays lead is down to 3-4 in the loss column. Neil Solondz, the Rays, next.
The Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie, John, and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best, be Cape. If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller & Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller & Moulton.
Clark, there's part of me that says just hit an iron off the tee, hit an iron in the fairway, and hit it on the green. I know he's not going to, but geez Louise. Like this PL Cootie, who's 4 under, he just hit iron off the 18th tee. I don't know what he's got in. I mean, he just barely crossed the road at the front of the front tee box. Oh, man, Amateur just lipped out a birdie putt on 18 that would have got him to even for the tournament. Maybe one over gets it there, but oh no, that was for par. 2 over, he's done. Oh, that's too bad. Mason Howell. Oh, your timing is awesome. I'm in.
No bread,
I know.
I toasted a hamburger bun for myself.
Nice. Thank you, sweetie. Yeah. Nice to play the weekend, though, if he'd have made that, baby Jules, but I'm with you. Be the fastest 2-egg scramble I've ever had. Somebody yelled in his backswing and he ran after him. Much. I don't think he needed to chase the guy down. From the looks of it, he's picking up the tee pretty quickly. He just banged one right down. Well, let's see here. What's the run out going to do? Oh. Right down the fairway. Can't say it's going to be in there until it's done rolling. He's 9 under, David.
With 2 to play.
Yeah, and he just piped one on 17.
Birdie for 59.
Ooh, a little pepper there.
By the way, getting back to that Suber guy, if we went up to him right now and said, I'll give you 2 more 69s, would you take it? That would be 8 under for the tournament. He'd post it, see where it finishes.
No, not with the weather they're having. I mean, he'd be invited to a lot of tournaments because of it, but you know what I mean.
No. He's not going to win. I know that. And I don't know if he's going to finish top 4 or 5 to come back either. But I think 8 under will get you a top 10.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes at the top of the hour. Tommy Smyth joins us then. Neil Solondz is kind enough to join us right now. Part of the Rays radio crew. You can follow Neil on X at Neil, that's Neil, Solondz, Solondz. Neil, it's David and Mark. We know you were getting up a little earlier today because you got a double header, but we appreciate you getting up for us at this hour. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Well, we're doing very well. We're thrilled for you and everyone associated with the team. First place in the AL East, 3rd best record in baseball. Okay, 3 up on the Yankees, 4 in the loss column. Be honest with us. When spring training broke, did you think, oh, this is one of the 5 best teams in baseball? Let's go.
Well, I don't know what I would have thought going into the year. I mean, I thought the first thing that was important was health. And I think most of us held our breath during the All-Star game when Junior was hit by a pitch. Generally the big 3 have stayed healthy. They've played in almost all of the games. Aside from a couple of injuries, the pitching staff has remained relatively healthy, and other injuries they've been able to work around. So, things have worked out. Probably, I thought it could be going into the year, I thought if this team stayed healthy, I thought they'd compete for a playoff spot for sure. And it's also been a very unique year so far. And again, it could change for the American League the way things have kind of shaken out. There's really only 2 teams, the Rays and Yankees, who've kind of separated themselves from the pack so far, but there's still, almost 70 games to go.
How important in your estimation are these 8 games? I mean, the Rays are incredible at the top, 20 games above 500, just 2 games below 500 on the road, a double dip today, 4 in Boston, 4 in Toronto. How big is this start after the All-Star break in your estimation?
I kind of look at it as more of the 17-game period. You play 17 games before the trading deadline, and I think for every team, it's almost like you've got a 17-game sprint, which will determine what happens. I mean, and it's not only how it affects the Rays, but also the other teams that, every team they face, Boston, Toronto, Rangers, Cleveland, the Rangers, and then the White Sox, they're all either in position to be in the postseason or near that, just like Seattle and New York before the break. So,
I think if you play well and you're still ahead of New York, it allows you to be maybe a little more aggressive. So I kind of look at it more from that stretch is to, I see the season almost in three pieces. I see the season as like a 4-month sprint to the trading deadline. Okay, now assess where you are. What kind of changes do you want to make? A 2-month sprint after that, and hopefully, a lengthy October if you're fortunate.
Neil, I might be a little out of line in what I'm about to throw out there, but for a few weeks now, I've thought to myself, if you're the Rays, this is one best of 5 playoff series with the Yankees between you and the World Series. I mean, you two clearly look like the best teams in the American League. I know anything can happen in the playoffs, but I mean, this seems as if it's Yankees, Rays, 1 versus 4, whoever's the 1 and who's ever the 4, and the winner's going to the World Series. And, in the division they play in, the league they play in, this might be the best opportunity for a while for the Rays to go to the World Series, because it just seems as if all of the competition between them and the Fall Classic, a lot of it's gone by the wayside so far this year.
I think you can say that on July 17th, but I'm guessing that the feeling would probably be different on September 17th. And that's why you play a 6-month season. I mean, I look at Detroit, and if I were them, I wouldn't sell. If you have a shot with Skubal, you have a shot at anybody in a short series. And they're starting to get healthier, and they've probably had the best record in the American League for the last month. I mean, Seattle, if you look at their starting pitching, they're a very dangerous team. Toronto came within an eyelash of winning the World Series last year. I look at Cleveland and Parker Messick, a Tampa Bay area kid, and Gavin Williams at the front of their rotation. And Cade Smyth is also an elite closer, and they're playing without Jose Ramirez now, and they would get him back, later on this year. That, they're dangerous too. So I look, and the Rangers have DeGrom and Eovaldi fronting their rotation. So I kind of look at, like no team is one you can underestimate. And really, I just kind of take this day to day and just looking forward to kind of getting things restarted today and knowing that it's just a really tough stretch, not only because it's 8 on the road, but you're starting with a doubleheader the day out of the shoot right after the All-Star break, so against a team that's won 9 in a row. So hopefully the All-Star break kind of cooled the Red Sox off and came at the worst time for them.
All right. I could give you one move, one position that the Rays improve upon between now and August 3rd. Where would you go?
I would always want as much pitching as possible. To me, you can never have enough. And so I don't know where that is. I don't know who that is, because right now there's 23 teams within 5 games of a playoff spot and 7 teams that aren't. So that doesn't leave many teams that are on the outside looking in right now. But, if we're on August 3rd and hopefully there's closer to 15 and 15, I would probably say pitching, just because, whether it's starting or relieving, it's going to give you more pieces to be that much stronger come October if you're fortunate enough to get there.
Neil Solondz, part of the Rays Radio Network. Follow him on X at Neil, Neil, Solondz, Solondz. If he stays healthy, doesn't it look like Junior Caminero is going to be the best player in Rays history? I know they just retired Longoria, who I think for now is the best player in franchise history. But, I mean, if he stays healthy, we're talking about back-to-back 40 home run seasons before the age of 25. I mean, that's a star.
He certainly has the ability to do that. I think the hardest thing to do in this game is be consistent and post up every day. I think Evan had a stretch there where, for about a 3 or 5 year period, he was as good as anyone else. And then he started to run into the injury bug himself and had to battle to stay on the field. And, I think that a lot of times we want to get ahead of ourselves. I'm just kind of enjoying day to day, how he's evolving, how he's growing, the things that he does, and just realizing that he's still just 23.
Right.
And yes, he has the opportunity to be an amazing, amazing player. But I kind of like, it's kind of like trying to skip ahead in the movie, like I'm enjoying a good film right now. I don't want to fast forward to the end. I kind of want to enjoy every single moment of it because, you're fortunate enough to get to broadcast games with a youngster who's just evolving and growing every single moment.
No doubt. And he is, we talked about this. We were talking about the Marlins, and I just have always said they need a guy that makes you want to go to the ballpark every day that's not a pitcher. The Rays have one. He is a guy that you want to watch 4 or 5 at-bats every single damn day with this kid, and he's delivering, which is fantastic. Give me a player. Let's just say you're right, and the only moves they make are to improve pitching. Give me a guy in the day-to-day lineup that you think has more than he's given in the first half, that you could say the Rays could even be better if this bat gets better.
I would probably say Chandler would be one who could have a major impact just because of when he's on base at a very high percentage, this offense finds another gear. At least that's of the guys that are here right now. I probably would lean that way. So, I think I don't know if he will get the opportunity in the near term, but I also would wonder, is there a chance that like a Jacob Moulton, who they got in the Brandon Lau trade, who's been in Durham and playing very well, would have a chance to help the Rays at some point, during the course of this early part of the, or period before the trading deadline or after. Those are two guys, because I think young players, you look at what the Blue Jays did last year, and they had a lot of young players take a big jump forward. And certainly, so far you've had a big jump forward from Junior, or at least consistency from Junior after what he did a year ago. So, we'll see if how things continue to go for him in the group. But I'd probably point at Chandler first.
Well, a lot of guys have come through. Certainly the top of the order: Diaz, Aranda, Caminero. Hey, I'll lead Crow because I'm a Mets fan. I watched him the last half of last year. He was dreadful. The first 2.5 months of this year, Cedric Mullins was dreadful. He was hitting 160 something, around Memorial Day. Cedric Mullins is batting like 4th, 5th, or 6th now, and he's coming up with some big hits, and he can play a good center field. I think what Mullins has given the Rays the last 2 months has been tremendous.
He's been very, very consistent, and I think even when he hasn't hit as he did in the first month, I think the big key is that he was consistently a good guy in the clubhouse and the kind of important veteran that they wanted. I think similar to his counterpart on the pitching side, Nick Martinez, I think that having a Cedric Mullins has been a settling factor for some of the young players who are, in Chandler's case, the slump he went through for about a month there from, I think, mid-May to mid-June was probably the first time he ever had gone through something like that at the professional level. And so having a veteran around him who had been there, done that, and gone through his fair share of slumps, I think also matters.
And, I've mentioned hitting a few times. The one thing about this team is they've been pretty consistent defensively. And I sometimes think that goes under the radar a little bit because this team, it's tough when you got to make 28, 29 outs in a game. They've done a really good job of being able to help their pitchers and play pretty damn good defense all year.
Yeah, you're right. Depending on what numbers you read, they actually graded out as one of the top 3 teams defensively in baseball going into the break. And I think it has gotten probably a little more consistent in, let's say, the last 6 weeks to month, from, let's say, June 1st on, where I think they really have continued to improve. I mean, it certainly helps that you have the anchor like Taylor Walls at shortstop. I honestly think he's the best infield defender in baseball right now. And he's very similar to me to what Kevin Kiermaier was back in the day in the outfield. He seems to be that settling factor in the infield. And I think that only can make your pitching staff that much more confident that if you make even a good pitch, you're going to be able to get an out on the play, and sometimes two.
Well, Neil, by the way, final question off the field. What's your go-to in Boston? Is there a restaurant? Is it just a place to go? You're not going to have a ton of time this trip with a DH on Friday, but I'm just curious, do you have a go-to in Boston?
I don't know if I have, I would love to have time to go to and get a nice, good Italian dinner. There's a couple of places that I would go to if we had time, but I have a feeling that, with a doubleheader, a 4 o'clock, a 1:35, and then a flight out, my eating time in Boston is going to be very, very limited, unfortunately, this time.
Sounds like the press room to me, Neil. Sounds like the press room to me.
Unfortunately, hey, it is what it is. It's 4 games in 3 days. Wish we had a little more time, but unfortunately, Mother Nature didn't want to cooperate. Maybe they should have had a dome here in Boston.
No doubt. Hey, what's the best press food in Major League Baseball? What press box, when you're going into a game and getting that pregame meal that they give you, is there one that you go, you know what, this is pretty damn good?
Most of them are pretty good. I like where we just were. Houston is probably one of my favorite spots. Because they usually have a fair share of Texas barbecue or something that is in that neighborhood. So
there you go.
I don't get that very often, so that's probably near the top.
Neil, thanks so much for accommodating us at this hour. Have great broadcasts with Andy, and safe travels, and hopefully we can catch up next month.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Neil Solondz, along with Andy Freed, part of the Rays Radio Network. Follow him on X, Neil, Neil, Solondz, Solondz.
Yeah, North End serves up some pretty good Italian. I mean, that's a fact. By the way, Ray, I'm not a defensive metrics guy, but in defensive runs saved, they're second in baseball next to the Cubs.
I think they're going to hold on and win the East. I really do.
We shall see. I like his perspective. Let's see what happens between now and August 3rd, because I don't think that the Yanks will stand pat. I don't know how much the Rays will do. And that'll be interesting to see.
It will. They need to do something. If not to hold off the Yankees in the regular season, but to beat them in October. They'll have to do something. Tommy Smyth is next.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. Capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
Floor Meisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floor Meisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in, 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floor Meisters, just keeping it real.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller and Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller and Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton. You're listening to Miller and Moulton, coming at you from the Floor Meister Studios. Floor Meisters, keeping it real. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the final hour of Miller and Moulton, the bonus hour, the pro hour, whatever you want to call it. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Tommy Smyth, kind enough to join us once again. We could look back, but we definitely want to look ahead to Sunday's World Cup final between the top two nations in the world, Argentina and Spain, at least according to FIFA. They had them ranked 1 and 2 coming in. You want to follow Tommy on X? It's Tommy Smyth with a Y, ESPN. Tommy Smyth, SMYTH, ESPN. You can listen to Tommy on SiriusXM FC 157, SiriusXM Soccer Channel 157. Tommy, it's David and Mark. As always, thanks for doing this. How are you?
And David and Mark, it's great to get to the finish line, isn't it? I mean, we're just going to nudge it over the finish line on Sunday. And yeah, you're right. For 3 hours before the World Cup, if you want to join me on 157, myself and Rodney Marsh, we'll be doing our lead into the World Cup.
Okay, let's go back before we go forward, because so much to discuss in the Argentina-England game. And when you were watching it, and I have, like, I'm not a soccer expert, but I loved this Gordon kid because I just thought he was so damn fast. And when they pulled him, and not because he scored the goal, but when they pulled him, I went, well, this is interesting, because we know Argentina's been pressuring, but to get out of that pressure, a counter is big, and he's a guy that could break free, quicker than most. So I thought that was odd. As you were watching it and they started making the defensive substitutions, how concerned were you for England prior to Argentina scoring the 2 goals late?
Said that you're not an expert. You're a bigger expert than Thomas Tuchel, because you wanted to leave the man on that could lead them out of it. So you would have made a better decision than Thomas Tuchel made. I mean, it was stupidity number one in taking him off. And you're right about him with the counterattack, because a lot of people don't even know this, but he is just signed to play with Barcelona. And if Barcelona think you're going to sign for them, you're a good player. And I thought he played very well for England. But it was retreat. I mean, Tuchel was blowing the bugle and he was retreating. He took on, at one point in time, he had 8 defenders on the field. If you're playing against Argentina, any of the 3 of us, we're saying to ourselves, okay, we've scored a goal 50 minutes in. There's 90 minutes in the old game, and the referee's going to add on 10 minutes. So our decision is we are going to play defense for the next 40 minutes. Are you kidding me or something? Against a team that's led by Messi and has good goal scorers on it, we're going to play defense. How he came to that conclusion is beyond me, guys. I have no idea.
Well, and he was regarded as maybe the best tactician, or one of them, in the tournament. I guess we're just dumbfounded. This isn't Mexico at 10 men at Azteca. I mean, like, if you were his assistant and he's all of a sudden starting to put in defensive guys, isn't the one question you'd have to ask him, do you really think we're going to hold on and win this 1-0? I mean, that's a tough ask from anybody, isn't it?
Oh, it's almost an impossible ask. And I mean, I've been reading, I read all the English newspapers, and apparently all the English players were asking the same question. Why are we bringing on defenders? I'm going to give you a little one here. Dan Burns, who is like 6'10" or something like that. He's huge. And against Mexico, he came on and he cleared the ball, and they're talking about it was brilliant. 6 times he cleared it. The problem with these old-time defenders is he's nodding the ball down. He's not nodding it to one of his own players. He's just getting it out of there. And against Argentina, every time it went out, it came back in quicker. And I mean, eventually, England were gassed. I mean, England players, you saw them after the game. I mean, Harry Kane was lying outstretched on the grass. He was hardly fit to move. Now, he was a man who, in my opinion, he was sacrificed. I don't know what Tuchel told him to do, but he's one of the best goal scorers in modern day. He scored 61 goals in Germany last year in the season. And you have him, I don't think he had, I think I read someplace he had 19 touches in the game against Argentina, and they were all on the defensive side of the ball. That's not going to work for you. And him and, Bellingham and Kane did not have a touch on the ball between the two of them inside of the 18-yard box. And that's your two main attackers. Something very wrong there.
The other side of it, though, is that Argentina kept coming. And, I've listened to a lot and read a lot where certain teams, by hitting posts, by getting chances and not scoring, they get a defeatist attitude. Argentina never got that. They kept coming. They didn't let not scoring bother them. And the other side of it, Tommy, just talk about they moved Messi around. They moved him to the right side. He was all over the place. Just about whether he did it on his own, whether it was a tactical move, how Messi played in understanding that he was drawing 2 and 3 defenders and still making the most of it.
Yeah, Messi made the decision. We inquired about that. Messi made the decision on his own that he would go out and play on the right wing. And you see what he did when he went out there. He got the ball and he dumped it across. He dumped it across. He dumped it across. Then Dan Burns was brought in and he said to himself, hey, he's a big guy. There's no point dumping it across there. So what he did was he started to play around with it out on the wing and play 1-2s with whoever came, McAllister, whoever came. And that drew the English forward, or the English backs out. And then when he got them out, he said, okay, I'll play it back across into the middle now because they're not there anymore. He fooled them in the way, he has a soccer brain that not many in the world ever had. And he fooled the English defenders. And then you have Lautaro Martinez, who is one of the best goal scorers inside of the 18-yard box. He plays in Italy. Every week when we do the reports from Italy, he's always on the score sheet. And that ball was a peach. It was directed right to his head. It was almost like Messi picked it up and said, okay, Lautaro, here, I'll put this on your head. He put it exactly where he needed to, and that was the end of England.
Tommy Smyth, Sirius XM, FC 157. It's their soccer channel. He'll be part of their 3-hour pregame, early afternoon Sunday, Spain and Argentina. All right, let me make an assumption. Spain has not trailed in the tournament. They've given up 1 goal. Argentina has trailed, in their last 2 matches. They've trailed late in their last 2 matches. They had to go to overtime and damn near PKs against Cape Verde. Let's just assume it's 1-0 Spain with 25 minutes to go. Is Spain impenetrable, or could Argentina do it to them too?
I don't think they will do it to them. I don't think so. Spain will not make the kind of foolish mistakes that the English made. Plus, the other thing that will help Spain is it'll be a very hot day. That will also help Argentina because both of them will cope very well with the conditions. I don't think the English players ever coped with the conditions. You won't break down Spain like you broke down England or you broke down the previous game because, as you said, you've only given up 1 goal. But there's another stat that's very, very serious stat. They have gone 37 games without defeat. Only the great Italian teams of the past ever did that. They're tied with Italy in terms of games, the most games without a defeat. So if they win the World Cup, they will break the record themselves. They will be on 38. And the problem with playing against Spain is it's like they own the ball. And they will say to you, okay, we're not giving it to you. And then they went 2 goals up in the semi-final against France. And they said, okay, you can have the ball now because we know we're not going to let you do anything with it. And that's the kind of their attitude. If you go through the Spanish team and go man for man, all the positions, 11 positions, there's not a serious, there's nobody that you could say, hey, he doesn't belong there. Every one of them belongs there.
Does Spain, and I guess the answer, I know the answer is yes. What's Argentina have to do? If they get the lead, can Argentina play defensively enough? Because that's not their style. So they'll keep attacking, and Spain can counter, and we know all that. But if Argentina gets the lead, how dangerous does that make them? And can they play the style necessary to defeat Spain if they get a lead?
I don't believe so. I think they are very suspect on their back line. So even with a lead, you saw, Cape Verde, which would not be considered one of the best teams in the world, Cape Verde put them under all kinds of pressure and were very unlucky that didn't win it. And you saw one of the goals they scored, the Cape Verde from out on the left-hand side. And that was because the Argentine defense fell off them. So, going forward, Argentina have no problems. At the back, Argentina have all kinds of problems. Now, there's a young man on the Spanish team that hasn't made a real impact on this World Cup yet. This could be his day. Lamine Yamal. He's going to be out on the right-hand side. And one of the things that happens when Lamine Yamal gets the ball is a defender will go to him. But because he's so well known and because he's only 19 years of age and he's going to be the next genius in the game as far as I'm concerned, he will draw more than one defender. He may actually draw even three defenders. So watch when you're watching the game, watch how much space will be left in the middle because Lamine Yamal has the ball. Even though he's not doing anything with it, but he is opening up space for the guys to come through the middle. And you've seen Spain score. Marino has scored a couple of goals coming through like that. He's been the hero. He's been substituted, came on late, and he scored 2 winning goals. But he came right down through the middle because the defense is so intent on keeping Yamal out of the game.
Tommy, as always, we appreciate you and your insight. Have a great weekend. Good luck Sunday. And hopefully we can talk again soon.
Take care of yourselves, guys. It's always a pleasure. Love talking to you, and you always ask the best of the questions. Let me tell you, it's incredible how on point you are. You said earlier, one of you guys said you're not an expert. I think you're doing fine. You're very much an expert, and if you're not an expert, Thomas Tuchel is a real dodo.
Well, Tommy, I'm going to nominate my co-host, Mark Miller, to be the U.S. men's national team coach. So thank you, Tommy Smyth. Sirius XM FC 157 for 3 hours before the World Cup final on Sunday.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at PelicanRoofingCompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Cortec and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller and Moulton. MillerandMoulton.com.
This is Miller and Moulton.
So, Javier, I'm kind of screwed because the one thing that's come out of this whole bone marrow transplant is I'm apparently allergic to nuts now. I've had a couple of really bad reactions with rashing, and the only thing we can attribute it to is nuts. And I don't know what kind. It may just be peanuts, which for the record are not a nut. But I can't really take a lot of chances because I actually was in the emergency room one night because I had rashes so badly. Yeah, you can become allergic to things that you weren't. I mean, my blood type, when this is all done, will have changed. So, but I mean, I've had it. I had nuts at the club one time, which are mixed nuts. I had a concrete mixer with peanut butter cups in it. That did it one time. So I have just had to stay away from nuts, which sucks because I like pistachios. I like pecans. Pecan pie is probably my favorite pie. But I don't know what's in Rocky Road ice cream. I may have to look now. Now you've got me interested. Oh, no. It's just a chocolate and vanilla thing, huh? Oh, no. Almonds. Yeah, almonds. Oh no, look at I can make plenty. I could just go vanilla ice cream, Javier. I have gone the cookies and cream works, and I'm a big fan of the Ben and Jerry's. Now they have a vanilla caramel fudge that I find glorious. Yes, I can eat seeds, Alan, because I've made pesto with pine nuts, which are essentially a seed. They're not a nut. But I did put some almond extract in the cobbler. Now, again, it was a half a teaspoon for to 4 cups of. Yeah, that's where I got to go is Oreos and Heath, Skip. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, because my go-to was Heath and peanut butter. I can go there. I have so much gelato and sherbet that I made this week, though. I'm good on having to buy ice cream for a while. You hit your own mute there, David, so you know.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
21 minutes until we're done for today and for the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. So Lucas Herbert was 9 under for the day through 16. 17 was a par 5, and then there's the par 4 18th. And so you're thinking, well, if he birdies the par 5, he's 10 under. It's a par 70. 59's in play. Well, he parred 17
and had to get up and down after. I mean, had to work for it because he, after piping his drive, let the second shot get away from him.
And he had a shot get away from him on 18, ended up making bogey. So 9 birdies and a bogey, and an 8 under 62 for Lucas Herbert. All right. He's from Australia. He is 30 years old. He is your 36-hole leader at the moment. He's in the clubhouse at 8 under. Jackson Suber, an American, who was your first-round leader, shot a 1 under par 69 today. He's in second in the clubhouse. Mark, we talked about this cut could go pretty low, that there's a few individuals tearing up the course today. Patrick Reed is playing his final 2 holes, 5 under for the day. You know, who was it earlier today? Posted
Eric Cole shot 64. Sam Burns is 7 under on the day. There's no wind right now.
Right. But the other thing that's happened is the cut, as of right now, is even. There are 72 golfers, even or better. And there's 20 golfers that are even par. 20. I think 3 of them have to get to +1. But anyway, this cut could end up even par. Now, there's still big names who haven't teed off yet. Fowler, Hovland, JT, Scheffler, DeChambeau. I mean, you know, there's still a decent amount of the field. There's another 2 hours of tee times. But right now, the cut is even. And 8 under's your lead.
But for what it's worth, Rory 3 under on the day. That gets him to 1 under for the tournament. So as long as Rory doesn't screw up, he'll be around at the weekend. But the projected cut, as David said, right now, even par and still plenty of golf. But that means, you know, Aaron Rai, who's had a good year, he's even right now for his day, 1 over for the tournament. Stenson, who was great yesterday, that's not happening today. He's 3 over already. But Akshay Bhatia, he's 1 over, hasn't started yet. Maverick McNeely, 1 over, hasn't started yet. Cam Young, he's done, or Cam Smith, rather. He's done for the day. He's done for the week. Max Homa's got to get it going. He's 1 over today, 2 over for the tournament.
Koepka, who was even yesterday, is 1 over today with 2 holes to play. Now, one of those holes is a par 5, but right now, if you're Koepka, you can't count on 1 over making it. It may ultimately make it, but right now, you're on the wrong side of the cut line if you're Koepka.
Matt Fitzpatrick, who was everybody's pick, not named Rory or Scotty Scheffler. Hell, even some that included those two. Matt Fitzpatrick, he's not playing this weekend.
No.
He's 2 over today, 4 over for the tournament. He's done. Wyndham Clark, 5 over for the tournament. He's done. Justin Rose would have to do what Cole did to play this weekend. He was 5 over yesterday, hasn't teed off yet today. So that's just, some of the things going on at the Open Championship. But as David mentioned, Scotty Scheffler, Bryson DeChambeau, They get going just a little bit after our show ends. So you'll see pretty much the entirety of every shot they take today.
By the way, Alex Fitzpatrick is beating his more acclaimed brother by 7 right now. He's 3 under par and very much in contention midway through his second round. But what's going on across the pond, only the second biggest development in the sports world this morning. The biggest happened about 20 minutes ago. It was soccer expert Tommy Smyth joining a ragtag sports radio show called Miller and Moulton. And he wasn't willing to go as far as to call us soccer experts. He did call Mark a soccer expert in comparing him to the English national coach. That officially, according to Tommy Smyth, Mark Miller, soccer expert. Okay. David Moulton, The England national team coach, quote, a dodo.
A dodo.
A dodo, which could lead to another T-shirt possibility. Miller and Moulton, at least we're not dodos.
That's something. I don't know if I've ever been called a dodo. I mean, I've been called a dumbass, but not a dodo.
What was the phrase that was used recently on this show that we were pretty sure had not been used?
Boo-boo. Seth Everett went boo-boo on Wednesday.
And now, 48 hours later, dodo. It's been a hell of a week on Miller and Moulton. It's a hell of a week.
You know what? Summer will lead to that from time to time. Summer will definitely lead to that from time to time. I had to laugh because, Raj, who helps us out from time to time, Raj is a huge fan of the band Fish. I've never been into Fish. They're a jam band. They're very good. They will do some wild things in concert. They'll do alphabet shows where they play 26 songs and they start at A and they go all the way to Z. They'll play entire albums of other bands in concert. And Trey's one of the guys in the band. He was on stage recently and somehow they caught the videos all come out. He's talking, and now I like Fish for this reason only. He's like, yeah, I've been watching this World Cup. He goes, I get it. It's cool. He starts talking about the diving, David.
Oh.
And he's like, these guys, oh, my knee. He goes, I'm a hockey guy. I have a big problem with this. I'm like,
here we go.
Right, I'm in. Anything I've ever said about your band that's been negative, I take it all back. You're a hockey guy. I'm on your team now.
We're buying tickets now.
Yep. As if the hallucinogenics at the concert weren't enough.
Right.
You're a hockey fan. Yep. I'm in.
Don't care if you're a dodo. You're our kind of dodo.
That's right. So that was one of the things that I saw this week that entertained me. And anytime I can find out more about whoever, whether it's an actor that starts talking about their love of sports or a musician that's into sports, because usually they're just in their own lane. And that's fine. I get it. But that was all right. We're not dodos. And Fish, well, he's a hockey fan. So I'm good with that. Getting a little disgusted about my hockey team, though. I'm seeing the GM list. I'm like, you better go outside the family.
Miller and Moulton. One's an expert. One's And the rest of you are dodos. No, that's a little too far. But
can Argentina do it again? When we come back on Monday, I think Spain's winning the World Cup, but
so does Tommy Smyth. You laid out every scenario for Argentina, and he went, no. So I'm going with Tommy Smyth. He's not a dodo.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine, no more snoring, no more tossing, no more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and
The
sound.
Cape Coral Police Department is growing and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000 depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you could be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to capecops.com. capecops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Floormeisters just doesn't sell Core-Tech and carpet. They also sell a lot of wood. And what better time than now to stop in and see the nice folks at Floormeisters for some new hardwood for your home. With white oak wood starting at $4.99 a square foot, that makes it affordable for everyone. With 10 colors to choose from, they have a color for everyone. So stop in. 6281 Naples Boulevard, right next to Costco, or go to the web. It's floormeisters.com. Floormeisters.com. Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
This is Miller and Moulton.
Is under 6 foot part of that dead stroke? Sorry. I met all the widespread guys on the first, I think it was called the Further Tour. This goes back, hell, 99. No, that's way before that. Sorry. 90, probably 94. At Lakewood Amphitheater in Atlanta. My buddy Cat Collins worked for American Recordings. He introduced me to a couple other guys in the music business. One of them, and I don't know what his real name was, he went by Joe Babka. And he worked for Capricorn Records, which Widespread was on. And he gave me the first 3 Widespread CDs, kind of circled some, gave me the first 311 CD. I think they had them as well. And we went to the Widespread show at the Further Fest. Yes, it is Deadstroke. And met all the guys somewhere. I thought I had it, and I looked through my stack of crap, and I couldn't find it. But I had an autographed picture from one of the guys in Widespread that they signed when I met them all before their show. They were nice enough. My ex-wife used to see Widespread at fraternity parties because they're from Athens and she went to Georgia, and they were a routine band that had played fraternity parties in Athens. In fact, Deadstroke, I remember listening to one of Johnny Cash's one of his albums, very, very depressing album. I don't think it was the remake one. It was a different one he did. But that he did that wasn't even out yet. It was, very soft. Damn. 62 for Burns and Herbert. How about that? And American was the Black Crowes, too. Because that was Rick Rubin's label. I believe. Now, I could be wrong there. That could be wrong. American Recordings, yeah. I think, because I remember, if you remember that Crow's album, the first one had the very controversial album cover of the girl wearing the American flag bikini bottom with pubic hair coming out of it, and people freaked out, and they had to redo it. I mean, that kind of is what the movie says, Alan. I don't know that to be fact, but yes, it's a great biopic, Alan. It's another one that I'll stop what I'm like. That's one of my favorites. I love that movie.
And I thought she was better than him in the movie, and he was really good.
Yeah, they were terrific.
Yeah.
No, I thought, was it after? Okay, you might be right. You might be right, Mr. Spivey. I remember that being very controversial.
By the way, Sonny, Joaquin Neiman had a top 10 at the U.S. Open, and that was with the 11 on that par 4.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton. Text the guys what's in your mind at 21,000. That's 21000. And now, here's David Moulton.
22 minutes, still at top of the hour. And that's when we're done for the day and the week. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com, Miller_Moulton on X. Before we call it a day, we'll give you one last update on the Open Championship. So we got that to look forward to.
But you want me to get busy?
Well, I want to make sure you get in what you want to get in. We'll jam in the other stuff, but this stuff's the important stuff.
It's that time again, nearing the end, but not quite there yet. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
All right, what the heck do we got today? David, this one's for you. 1917, a royal proclamation by King George V changes the name of the British royal family from the German Saxe-Coburg-Gotha to Windsor.
Well, I could see why they went Windsor.
Yeah, I'm with you. When I read it, I'm like, yeah, that name kind of sucks.
I mean, it certainly flows off the tongue more than the other one.
The royal family in Russia was executed today in 1918 by the Bolsheviks. Firing squad in the basement. Tough way to go. Today in 1922, Ty Cobb gets 5 hits in a game for the 4th time this year. Elmer Fudd, who was originally Egghead, was created today in 1937, first debuting as Egghead Rides Again. Mentioned it yesterday, but today in 41, Joe D goes over and the hitting streak ends after 56 games. The first post-World War II meeting today outside of Berlin in the suburb of Potsdam, the Potsdam Conference with Truman, Stalin, and Churchill. They divided up the world today in 45. Today in 55, Walt Disney opened Disneyland in Anaheim. Hendrix quits the opening act of the Monkees tour today in 67. Probably a wise move. The fact that he did 7 of the 29 shows is astonishing to me.
Wow. Can you get more 180 degrees than Jimi Hendrix and the Monkees?
Well, I will say, although they're similar in a lot of ways, when the Beasties were opening for Madonna, and all of the teenage girls were seeing a large phallic symbol on the stage. That had a few moms freaked out. Today in 1974, John Lennon was ordered to leave the U.S. due to a marijuana charge in 1968. He never left. Today in 1975, at London's Linscombe Theatre, Bob Marley and the Wailers play their historic concert. The legend version of No Woman, No Cry was recorded from that show. Billy and Reggie got into it in the dugout when Jackson refused to bunt. Martin would suspend him. That was today in 1978.
Well, it led to him getting fired because after the game, because George threw his 2 cents in, and I believe within a day or two, Billy was quoted as saying, one's a liar and the other's convicted.
Today in 1983, in my lifetime, the greatest day in Detroit football history. The Michigan Panthers would beat the Philadelphia Stars for the first USFL championship.
Wow, that is cold.
Also today at 83 at Royal Birkdale, Watson wins his 5th, beating Andy Bean and Hale Irwin by 1. Watson's 2nd consecutive Open and 3rd of the last 4. He was pretty good over there.
And he had a chance to win 3 in a row. He was in it to the end, and he screwed up in 84. And never mind. I'm telling you, if he had held off Stuart Sink in 2009, it would have been the greatest win in the history of the sport.
Today in 94, Nick Price won at Turnberry. 05, Tiger wins his 10th major, going wire to wire at St. Andrews, 5 ahead of Colin Montgomery. 2011, that's when Darren Clark did it. Gets his only major. And in 2022, Cam Smith wins 1 ahead of Cam Young and Rory. 1 ahead of Cam Young, 2 ahead of Rory, for what it's worth.
And then he joins LIV like 2 months later.
Yep.
And we basically haven't heard from him since.
James Cagney, Phyllis Diller, Donald Sutherland. Is he the Gary? I don't know if he's one anymore. He's kind of like a Gary Player of actors to me. You look at his body of work and it's sensational. Going way back.
But is he a number 1 or is he just the great character actor?
I think he's better than that. Eating some cheese, having some wine. And Connie Hawkins would have all celebrated birthdays today. Connie Hawkins is an amazing story in and of itself. Watch that ABA documentary and you learn a little more about Connie Hawkins. David, your queen, 79, Camilla.
No, I'm with Harry on this one.
Oh,
no,
I can't help it.
Got no use for her.
Yeah, whatever. She's the queen.
Yeah, she is. Listen, Chuck's kids can't even believe she's queen. They're like, hold on a second. You were telling us she was going to be queen consort. You took what happened to the consort?
David Hasselhoff, the Hoff, 74. Brian Trottier, 70. Bills fans, just bear with me here. Scott Norwood, 66. Luke Bryan's 50. Mason Rudolph's 31. People love those backups, David. OG Anunoby, he's 29. And Connor Bedard, 21 years old today. 21, David.
Yeah, I know.
What'd I miss?
Oh, I don't know. You got me thinking about all sorts of people. You know, Connie Hawkins. There are some that believe he was the greatest player in ABA history, even better than Irving.
I don't know if he played in the league long enough because he jumped ship so early,
right?
That it's hard to say that. I know your point. Maybe he was really good. That's all I know.
Yes. But there's so many other things I want to say, so we'll just move on.
Time to see life a little bit differently. Here's Mark Miller with the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Colombia for the good, where they made the world's largest piggy bank. A ceramic pig stands 29 feet, 6.3 inches tall. It measures 33 feet, 11 and an eighth inch long, and weighs 30 tons. It also has a working coin slot where visitors can drop their change, and all the money goes to local animal shelters. I like it. For the bad, we go to Houston, where Asha Gilbert was exercising, apparently, at home. She was practicing her pole dancing in her West Houston apartment when the pole came loose from the ceiling and struck a fire sprinkler. The video, because she was filming herself, of course, on the pole, shows water spraying out of the sprinkler. It flooded her apartment and that of a neighbor. She apparently has said she will not practice pole dancing at home anymore. And finally, the ugly, we go to Lake County here in Florida, where 2 school principals were arrested on DUI charges in separate incidents involving the same car on July 5th. Christina Alcade and Jennifer Jimenez identified themselves as principals shortly after being pulled over around 2 a.m. Apparently, one was drunk. She said she was drinking. Then the other one decided to drive the car 2.5 hours later and got pulled over. She was on the way to bail out her friend. She ended up joining her friend in jail. Can't wait for that back to school meeting. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly on today, July the 17th, 2026. And it's brought to you by the Cape Coral Police Department, offering great pay, new jobs, not only police officers, but other jobs. All news at capecops.com. capecops.com.
No change atop the leaderboard. Lucas Herbert, Australian, 2-shot lead at 8 under over Jackson Suber from the U.S., who was your first round leader at 5 under. He's 6 under in second. There's one golfer on the course who's 5 under. That's Sung Jae Im. The other 2 at 5 under are in the clubhouse. Right now, it's still holding. Even par is your cut line. Even par. 72 golfers are even par or better. Mark, it's amazing. All right, there are 23 golfers at even par. 4 of them need to fall back to 1 under. Or 1 over, excuse me. Right now, 4 golfers at even out of the 23 need to fall back a shot to bring all the 1 overs back into play. So we shall see.
One of the things we didn't talk about today, because we really don't go there, because I think we're a little bored with it, but LeBron spoke and he says he's going to make a decision. Silver's kind of ticked at him because he hasn't made a decision and they want to get schedules out and all that kind of stuff. The prediction markets where the Cavs were the almost overwhelming favorite to get LeBron, they were like 43%. They've dropped to 37%. Golden State's gone to 32%. Miami's at 15%, for what it's worth. For those of you that care about that sort of thing. So
I would be really surprised. Where do you think, if you were LeBron, better chance to win next year? Cleveland, Philly, Miami, Golden State, Minnesota.
Probably the T-Wolves.
Okay.
It would be Cleveland and the T-Wolves would be close.
I mean, Miami's interesting with Giannis. Okay, can LeBron and Giannis make it work?
Who's going to shoot? You got to have shooters in this league. You get 3 big men. No, I don't think so, but that's just me.
I
and
hear
it's
you.
not about soccer. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
No, you're an expert. By the way, Koepka birdied 17, a par 5. He's at even. 18's been a tough hole. Even Herbert, who shot 62, bogeyed it. But Koepka's a par away from seeing the weekend for sure. Otherwise, he's got to wait about 6 hours.
And Sam Burns birdied 18 to equal that 62. And that Herbert kind of lipped out. I mean, he hit the lip on his par putt from about 5-6 feet for 61, which is too bad.
So what do we have? 2 62s, a 63, and a 64 today?
2 62s and a 64 is what I see.
Okay.
Because Burns was 7. He got to 8, David.
Gotcha. And remember, lowest score yesterday was 165. And they got it going on today. Patrick Reed ended up shooting 66.
So 18's going to be, with the number of where the cut's at, David, 18's fascinating today.
Yep. You got to figure it comes down to one of the last 3 groups as to what the cut's going to be. So Scheffler and DeChambeau tee off in 10 minutes.
And if the rain doesn't stop, David, I don't know when I'm going to tee off because I'm not playing in this. I just want to let you know. I'll play through some rain. I'm not starting in the rain.
Oh, okay.
And I was planning on doing the podcast update from the practice round. Tough to do it on a computer in the rain. Lots of problems this morning. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the finals of the World Cup. The tournament has been nothing short of sensational. I hope it finishes that way on Sunday. British Open, baseball's back. We'll break it all down Monday morning. Miller and Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
Let's talk the big differences between Floormeisters and the big box store that sells flooring. Floormeisters is family owned. They do flooring, not doors, nuts and bolts, or weed killer. They specialize in it. They know it. Floormeisters backs their installer, so if there's ever an issue, good chance the boss, TJ, will come out and make it right. Floormeister's prices beat the box stores every day of the week. When you think flooring, think Floormeisters in Naples. Floormeisters.com. Real people, real prices, real quality selection. The Floormeisters, just keeping it real.
Mark Miller for Sleep Treatment Direct. They are helping me with sleep apnea. And by helping me, I mean curing me. No more CPAP machine. No more snoring. No more tossing. No more waking up exhausted. Their expert team got me the right treatment, fast and hassle-free. If you want to feel energized and get rid of your snoring, call Sleep Treatment Direct today. 444-1741. That's 239-444-1741. Sleep Treatment Direct. Sleep safe and sound.
The Cape Coral Police Department is growing, and they want you to be a part of it. They're hiring new officers. Starting pay is between $74,000 and $90,000, depending on your experience. And with a $10,000 hiring bonus, you can be making $100,000. Enjoy paid holidays, off-duty details, plenty of OT opportunities. They're also hiring dispatchers and professional staff. So go to CapeCops.com. CapeCops.com. Be brave, be best. Be Cape.
Your roof is your home's first line of defense. At Pelican Roofing of Florida, Ronnie John and their team bring years of experience to protect what matters most, your family and your business. From residential repairs to large-scale commercial roofing, we deliver honest work, fair pricing, and quality you can trust. An upgrade on your roof can lower your insurance costs. Don't wait for a leak to turn into a disaster. Call the experts at Pelican Roofing today. 1-866-9-PELICAN. That's 1-866-9-PELICAN. Online at pelicanroofingcompany.com. CCC 1332512.
Buying or selling a home? Put a local expert to work for you. I'm Mark Miller, and I believe real estate is about more than transactions. It's about helping people make the right move. From pricing your home to negotiating the best deal, I'll be with you every step of the way. Call or text me today, 239-425-5582. That's 239-425-5582. Experience, local knowledge, and the best personal service. That's the difference.
If you're a business who targets men, please know there is no better and more economical way to reach your target audience than us at Miller & Moulton. So let us help you make money. You can reach out to Mark at that Mark Miller or me at the David Moulton on X, or text us at 21,000. We have a proven product, a good reputation, and lots of quality segments that we can attach your company's name to. Miller & Moulton, we're like that old pizza box. You've had the rest. Now try the best. Miller & Moulton, millerandmoulton.com.
This is Miller & Moulton.